cannot
They can
hear me. Oh,
Don't
okay. Welcome to the Witness Guild!
Don't act. That should be our tagline. Don't
act
act
stupid.
Don't act stupid. Welcome to the Witness Guild, where we play D&D. I guess like most people play D&D. Tonight is episode 10. I'm kind of excited that we're in the double digits of episodes. I don't think we have too many shout-outs except for we will do our typicals. NimT.art on Instagram. She makes our artwork, so if you're curious, like, yo, those are cool pieces of artwork, where do you get those? We got those from NimT.art on Instagram. That is NYMTEA.ART Instagram. We also have some minis that we get from our friends at the Dungeon Forge. I had to look for confirmation on that.
Isn't that right, Bultash?
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thanks, fan.
But the Dungeon Forge, they give us some cool minis. Go check them out, thedungeonforge.com, where you can go buy a bunch of their minis and a bunch of their adventure pack things that are really freaking cool. And they give you these whole little campaign storylines to do with their minis. You don't need anything.
Just buy that book.
They give you all the stuff for it.
Everything
it is
is right there.
Yeah. Outside of that, False Life Dice.
We're third in line.
At the end of our table. It's called Last But Not Least, actually.
Okay.
False Life Dice, they have an Etsy sale going on right now. You can check them out on False Life Dice on Instagram.
Yes. We have a shop drop. We got a lot of dice still available, so
on it.
If you like perfect dice.
Yeah, their dice are literally perfect. There's no other dice in the world that are as good.
They're so well balanced.
All the other dice makers in the world, your dices.
These are just facts.
Yeah.
They're so well balanced that I hate them because like there's no probability that I'm going to have really good rolls.
I got this beautiful chonk that I'm going to throw up in front of me, and you probably won't see it because camera quality, but look at that, baby.
There's mushrooms in there.
Oh, that's the prototype. Don't show the prototype.
Nobody on a camera
that's
going
a beta,
to see your slight
Yeah,
flaw.
You're just talking about perfect dice, and then you show the misshapen prototype.
No one would have known it was a prototype if you didn't say so.
That's a fact.
However,
like
we are going to take our group shots, and while we do that, please watch our intro video, and we will get back with episode 10 momentarily. Thank you.
Welcome to the guild. The world of Ethway and its 16 regions are a battlefield of chaos. Those that can bring stabilization to this world are known as heroes. The ones fighting for this title today are Bultash, a true adventurer with a love for combat, looking to help where he can. Nazlith, a shy elf with an affinity for fortune and magic. Budanik, the master artificer. He has two passions, tinkering and being the best. And finally, Willow and Emberly, the divine twins. These Genasi sisters have mastered the art of elemental fighting and protect their kingdom at all costs. Together, this is a powerful group. Will they fight the chaos of Ethway and prevail, or fall one by one? Find out this week on The Witness Guild.
Can you fill it for me? Hi!
I like how you're like,
And we are back.
Feeling
feeling it?
Feeling what?
I'm going to go ahead and pair my device with
Is that like burrito you ate earlier?
speaker here.
Just a really big burrito?
And after we have it paired, we will get back to our show.
Meanwhile, what were we talking about before we got back on stream?
That's that double wrap burrito. You guys killed me.
That's surf and turf.
Here we
Surf and
go.
turf.
No, not wrapped burrito.
All
Not
right.
wrapped.
The speaker is on, everybody. No, I know you all were very
That was a
concerned.
penis joke.
Oh, and we're snorting.
The
And we're
speaker
snorting.
is wrapped.
And we're snorting.
Edward snoring!
So,
Edward snorted.
It's sorry. Yep.
Is that one
Back
just
to you.
okay?
All right, guys, let's bring it back.
And scene. Where we had left off. During your last episode, you guys were in Bultash when some war bells began to ring as the door of the bar of the tavern opened up. You saw men and women racing to one side of the city while the elderly and the children raced to the other. As you guys kind of got your bearings, you guys decided to run in help, in which you guys went to the northeastern gate. There, you guys were met with the forces of Zuktmoy, a demon lord, and Baphomet, another demon lord. Their armies pushed the city of Bultash. You guys defended your side very, very well. Honestly, stupid well compared to the other sides. Which didn't do so well. The Eastern Gate and the Southeastern Gate were both broken down, and the enemy had entered. Voltaire, you did lose your spire in battle. Glaive underneath the pile of enemies that were climbing the walls and attacking you guys. There came to be a certain point where you guys had your wall protected, and it seemed like the southeastern and eastern gates both broke, and the armies of the demons began moving through those gates away from your gates. At this point in time, you used a divine spell, Willow.
I did.
And when you did that, the gentleman with you, Commander Nincardo,
His name was
saw
Nincardo?
Nincardo.
Nincardo 64.
Nincardo 64. He watched the spell you used and the effect that it had on demons, and through a very good intelligence roll on his part, he realized that they have a light tower, and this might work. If they can get enough of the divine energy through that light tower, maybe they could shed some light on the city, which would protect them from the demon army coming in. As you and your sister, Emberly, went to the tower in the middle with Nincardo, you guys Misty stepped up to the top of the tower.
Dimension doored
up to the top of the tower. Nincardo went and got his companion, whose name I cannot remember at this time, but it ends in I.
It ends
in I, not begins with I.
Really narrows it down.
Ends in I.
Sorry,
somebody
guys.
do the permutation.
Sorry, guys. I'll get this. Give me a second. Let me load up Excel.
That's intense.
W-I.
Somebody find out how many words end with I.
Lorelei. There it is.
As Nincardo grabbed Lorelei,
It's with I. That's my character's name.
you guys were up in the tower waiting. As you watched Voltaire, Budownik, and Nazlith all race towards the eastern doors where the break-in happened. Budownik went essentially nuts, just attacking in front of the statue that looked oddly similar to him. As this all occurred, it was very close. The city was very close to falling. Up until the point where Nincardo and Lorelei also dimensioned doored up to the top of the tower, where the three of you, Lorelei and the Divine Twins, decided to release your divine energy. I think you guys used Divine Smite specifically. No, you used...
Wasn't it?
A radiant spell.
A radiant spell.
Guiding bolt.
Guiding bolt. Thank you. Guiding
bolt. The
bolt.
three of you all used guiding bolt at your highest levels.
Sure did.
Managed to shine enough light through the tower to rain down upon the city. As this occurred, Voltaire looked up and noticed what was happening and raced towards you guys with his sword, which he also decided to help you guys out with. with Nazalith falling shortly behind. We ended with the enemies essentially melting into ash. All the ones that were in that light, that is.
The humanoids as well that were under the spell?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them. You would have noticed, not you. Nobody inside. You were out.
Bad guys died.
Bad guys died. The undead and the fungal forest.
6 out of 7.
Nice.
Yeah, with her,
They're not all full health.
Hers are
but-
doing well. There's something about the Demon Lord's armies that don't like
As long as I
the
keep
light you
casting
spread
as well.
upon them. We ended with their in the midst of battle as Budownik is slaughtering enemies left and right. The rest of you are all up in this tower, the 4 of you, along with Nincardo and Lorelei. You 3, Voltaire, Willow, and Emberly, are currently casting a spell, creating this light. You guys are quickly draining of energy. There's not very long that you can hold this. It was going to be about a 45-minute hold. With the help of Voltaire, that hold shrank quite a bit, and I'm sorry for the camera movement. And that's essentially where we left off. With the enemy dying, the demon lords have left the entrance of the city and are pulling back their armies as you guys are going through this. Budownik, on the ground, we'll start with you. On the ground, while you are fighting, as the light hits your back in rains and begins to move forward, you are watching as every time you cut open a body, they fall and just disintegrate into ash and smoke. And you are doing this left and right and left and right. You're at the point where you have inspired the rest of the army that's down there by that statue. They are all pushing with you and helping, and you guys are now moving the demons out of Bultash. To the point where you are at the rubble line of where the city has essentially crumbled. There is no more wall on the eastern side of the city. The first 4 to 5 rows of buildings are collapsed. There's fires going. The sky is filled with smoke at this point. Not to mention what seems to be magically induced clouds that are covering to keep it shaded. The only thing that's lit that you guys can see as you're standing in this tower is the city of Bultash. Being up in this tower, you guys need to hold this for as long as possible. I'm going to need you all to roll strength checks for me as you hold your spells there. Voltaire, your strength check is actually going to be through your sword. It's going to be a strength check for your sword. What's your sword's AC?
My sword's AC?
You're using a general longsword.
Give me a great sword.
Great sword. I can roll an HP for it if you would like.
Well, I mean,
And
I don't.
AC
It doesn't
for
say anything about an AC on it.
That's
so.
fine. We'll roll it real
You're
quick.
with a great sword. You're oh god, it's your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus to hit, and then your strength modifier damage, like additional damage.
Okay, hold on. My strength.
Well, if you're proficient with great swords, that's the other thing.
I am.
Okay, so it'd be proficiency bonus plus your strength modifier.
My strength modifier is
Okay.
3, and then my proficiency bonus is 5, so 8.
And most inanimate objects have a DC of like somewhere between 7 and 10.
Yeah.
It's low. Yeah, I rolled it for you. It's 7. So I rolled your DC for you. I'm going to need you to roll a d20 for me. Let me know what you get.
20. Natural 20.
Yeah!
Nat 20.
Nat 20!
All
Alright, I'll be the only one that's excited, guys.
What?
It adds so much to the.
No, the sudden quiet after my.
Your sword, you manage to, as you guys are in this situation, and Cardo's there, the 3 females of the group, Willow, Emberly, and...
Did you already forget her name?
Yeah, Lorelei. You guys are in the windows right now of this tower. There's energy coming from the tips of your guys' fingers as you guys are casting this spell into the mirrors which reflect it down to the city. in the midst of all of this chaos, as it's raining down, Nincardo's kind of giving you guys updates as everyth's happening on the ground below you. Lorelei is gonna roll, and she manages to pull away, and she lets you guys know you need to pull out. It will last.
Pull out!
Pull out!
It will
Get
last.
to the chopper.
Sorry.
She'll be pregnant!
I fucking hate you guys. I can't wait until your DMs, chicken shits.
Sorry.
You must use protection!
She removes her energy from the window with her strength roll.
I didn't even think about it until you said it. Like,
Willow and Emberly, you guys not being able to remove your strength, you laughing motherfuckers.
Stricken by a sudden fit of laughter.
Suddenly, all the light goes dark and all of the bad guys come back. Right now.
You're lucky I rolled bad, but you each take 6 points of radiant damage as you guys attempt to let go of the light that is pinging on this frame in front of you, but fail to do so. As Lorelei removes her spell from it, Voltaire, your sword lets go of it as well. And you guys are managing to keep the light there. It seems like there's some kind of magical situation going on how to keep the light there or not. And the light is almost pulling you guys in or sucking energy from you as this is occurring. I need the Divine Twins, Willow and Emberly. I need you guys to roll strength checks for me again. Currently, what is happening? You guys are shooting energy at this lamp, and creating the glowing effect. Lorelei has let you know that it is time to let go of the spell, and if you hold on, it could mean you're doomed.
Wait, what does she say?
It's time to wake up.
Is that her right
Let's
accent?
go!
I'm not saying anything else. What'd you guys roll?
7, 5.
You both fail again.
Thanks for that. You know.
Can I go over there and help?
You guys each take 11 points of radiant damage as you're holding on to this magical lamp. Your fingers, as they're up in the air, pointing at this array of mirrors, you cannot figure out how to let go. It almost seems like you are stuck, like it's an electrical connection. You just cannot let go. It is shaking you to your core. But it is staying lit for now. I need you both to roll strength checks again.
Can I help them?
For me?
I can't go grab one and pull.
We might be good. 16.
13.
You can try.
I would try and help the most struggling one.
13 would be the most struggling of the two
Can I roll
rolls.
again?
Roll again.
There it is. There it
Give
is.
those puppies
Nice
more.
and sweaty.
Hey!
Mine are sweaty as fuck right now.
13. I'm sorry, no, 12. Oh. No, 13. I had 14 previously, subtract 1.
You both failed.
What?
Oh!
He seems pretty
Do we
high.
just keep rolling?
You are stuck here.
That's cool.
There's a limit to these
This is where I
rolls.
die.
What's the damage? This is where I die. This is it. You kill me off now,
Are you
Coach.
giving Debbie her out tonight?
Right?
She's all like,
There is a limit to these rolls. You are both going to take 13 points of radiant damage
going up.
as you are
it's going down.
both stuck there. At this point, as you guys look at each other,
It's going down.
you guys have a moment where you're both stuck in this situation. As you look around at the faces around you, you look at Nazlith, Voltaire, you look at Lorelei and Nincardo. They look rather concerned for you at this point. I'm
Do
going to
they?
need you each to roll one more strength check for me.
I'm able to cast any type of spell at this point at any time.
You are in the middle of casting a spell forcefully.
I'm
You're
going to-
trying-
Not.
And are trying to
Before
stop this.
before they do this, I want to cast Bless.
It's fine. On which one?
You can do up to
Both.
3 creatures of my choice within range. So
Up to
within,
3, baby.
within
So
30
what is
feet.
that?
So
What does
you
that do?
guys get to add a d4 to your roll.
Attack rolls and saving throws.
Okay.
Yes. Is this a safe throw? Strength saving throw, right?
This is the same.
17. Zoe face.
8
Oh.
With a D4?
with a d4.
Oh my god.
Zoe.
I rolled a 7 and I have a negative to my
17.
strength.
barely makes it.
Woo!
As you,
Die.
Emberly, as the
Die,
bright
Willow.
red light is
Wait.
flashing from your hands.
They get +3 to saves when they're within my range.
You do get +3,
11.
but that wouldn't help you.
That would
No, but on the
Uh,
previous roll, when you had 14, it would have been
I
17.
had 13.
She had 13. It wouldn't help. Actually, had 12. It wouldn't have helped her. It wasn't even 13. As you are holding Emberly, you managed to let go, and you are now watching your sister be attached to this. At this point in time, Willow,
What?
the pain rushing through your body about this connection is going to be creating tears in your eyes. You are going to begin sobbing as you are stuck here. I need you to roll a very last.
Do I get any
Saving
damage
throw
from the
for
one
it.
I just
Well,
fell?
Your 5th saving
Wait, did you
throw.
say
Wait,
us
did I-
pulling? We can try and pull her out.
She is magically connected. It has nothing to do with the force.
Do I
of her
get
being
damage
there.
as a-
Magically
I just felt?
connected. Could I try counterspell
Yeah,
at 7th
better.
level on this?
I will let you
Either.
attempt a counter spell
At 7th
at
level.
disadvantage if you're gonna do it. But yeah, whatever level you want at disadvantage.
I'm going to cast
So the level
Bless.
doesn't matter, is what you're telling me at this stage?
Yeah.
I'm going to cast
Okay.
Bless again
I'll
on
just do
both
it.
of them.
Okay.
And you can both now use another D4, and then I'm going to be like holding on to Willow, trying to help her. So I'll be close enough to where you'll get +3 from my aura as well.
Do I get damage from the one I just fell to?
Okay, so with a disadvantage, I rolled a 13 and a 20, a nat 20, so 13 would be the disadvantage.
Wait.
Did you roll a D4?
Can I roll a d4
I
on
did
that?
Bless on you, so
Oh.
yes.
Okay, so the 13 plus
You're gonna take 10 points of radiant damage.
15 with the counter spell at disadvantage.
16, 15, 18,
+3 for me.
whatever, 18 plus 3.
Oh,
Alright, 21.
On your very last
D4
roll
slide, cool.
that I was going
D4.
to give you, you managed to break from this energy. And as you do, there's almost like a shock of energy as you hit the floor. You are all watching this as she kind of falls down in her mirror. The mirrors are staying lit at this point. As you guys look around, Nincardo kind of looks over at Lorelei and is checking her out to make sure she's okay. Nincardo asks Lorelei about how much time this is going to last. Lorelei gives him the reply. It should be up about a day.
Oh, jeez.
As you guys stand on top of the tower and you watch the armies,
So did I need to cast my counter spell? Did that even do anything?
it failed.
It failed.
It failed. As you guys stand on top of the tower and watch what is happening out in front of you,
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds and give her 18
Thank you.
points.
perfect. As you guys are watching what's happening in front of you, the enemy army moves back about 1,500 feet and holds position.
What? Wait, they ran far away. What? Bullshit.
It's hard to tell what is happening, what is occurring out in front of you in the field. It's very far away, but you can tell that they don't leave that area as they begin to kind of surround the village with the remaining people
What time of day? What time of day is it
that
right
they
now?
have. It is. I don't remember what time I gave you last time, so we're gonna make something up.
You gave me the year.
It's about. Did I give you a time? Because I
No,
won't
you gave me
hear.
the year.
I know
Time
the
in
year.
history.
I know the year. We're gonna say
Yeah,
it's
you do.
about 4 in the afternoon. It's very hard to tell that. It is very dark outside at this point, minus the light that you guys are
Oh
currently.
yeah, it
Don't
was
you have keen-
3:30.
You have keen mind, right?
I do.
So you know it down to the second, actually.
So he
You
said
actually know how many,
3:30.
about how long till
Yes.
sunset.
So right about now, after this whole battle has ensued, we're gonna go ahead and say about 2 hours has passed. It's probably about 5:30.
5:30. Okay.
Yes. 5:33 and 86 seconds. Which makes it
Um,
5:34.
You are an atomic clock, basically.
Lorelai.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, is it 24 hours? Or like a day, all of a sudden it's nighttime and the sun comes up and we're dead?
If we're lucky, we have 24 hours before that
Excellent.
collapse. If we are lucky, we need to get to the town hall and
Do you
figure
have
out what we
any
are
other
doing here.
spellcasters in the town?
We have a couple. I don't know who has been lost or who is.
Can we not do this again when this one goes kaput?
Yeah.
We can, but it could cost us a life.
Oh,
Oh.
you're right. It's not like, the whole fucking wall came down and we lost a lot of lives or anything. Maybe worth it a little bit. Just being a bit practical over here.
Are you willing to sacrifice your life for this light?
I think that
He is.
you saw my sword up in the light, yes. I too had to pull out as well.
It's fancy that you didn't know the consequences of your actions before you actually took part, but we need to get down to the town hall immediately and figure out what is happening.
Okay.
Chris, I know.
Yeah.
We initially had discussed some sort of gliding ability of mine. Is that still something I have?
It is. It is.
So
Is he gonna
You're
jump
fly
off
down
this
the
tower?
fucking wall. Do either of you have locate object?
No.
it actually turns out no, I
can
have a
change it
locate.
tomorrow, though.
I have a locate
He
object.
lost his big weapon and he wants it really bad.
As you guys are kind of up there battling, and everything's kind of cooling off, Budownik, down where you guys are at, as everybody is beginning to push forward, once you guys get to the end line and begin pushing them out, there's a certain point where you guys all stop at where the light ends, and you watch as the army backs out to about 1,500 feet, 2,000 feet. It's very hard to tell from here, but not quite a mile, but pretty far off from where you guys are. They are currently in a fungal forest. It's tough to see them, but you can see a lot of movement out on the horizon. You notice as they begin to spread out and kind of surround you. You see the two demon lords fly up and kind of command their armies, orchestrate their armies from far back. As you turn around and you see the light rain down on the city, you would also take in the very somber emotions that are happening throughout the city. Whereas usually a victory of this sort would be cheered on as you are pushing them out, and people would be screaming with happiness and surprise. This is something that hasn't been done before in this city. They have never had to fight demons. The undead army that came in, that's not easy to cope with if you're a citizen in Bultash. You're going to begin watching people just fall to their knees, crying, weeping, wondering what to do next. It is mass destruction on the front end of this city.
Is there like a box or like some sort of slightly elevated ground?
Soapbox.
There
Soapbox.
is,
Is there
right in
soapbox?
front of where you guys are fighting, right in front of the statue that looks oddly similar to you. There is a placard for this statue that stands about 5 feet tall. It's a big square, and on the front of it has like the information of what this statue represents. You could easily climb up it and
I quickly do
Okay.
mass healing
I'm
word
going
and give
to,
everyone 13 points of healing.
hop up on top of that and look out and kind of survey and just start giving rhetoric, I suppose. Sisters,
Oh god.
brothers,
Yes.
Paint on his face.
now is not the time to weep. Now is the time to take yourselves and stand strong together. Here in Bultash, we have routed our enemies. Sent those devils running with their tails tucked between their legs. As they fell before hobgoblins steel, now is not the time to cry. There will be time. I need 2 battalions stationed here at this opening. I need 2 others at the other break in the wall.
At that hole.
You're ruining the graphics.
Sergeant, find me the quartermaster. And if he's dead, you're the new quartermaster. You 3 over there, begin triage. Gather up the wounded, kill anyone that's not dead that isn't on our side.
I thought that was gonna turn. They're completely useless at this point. Just.
But what are you waiting for? Get with it!
And as you kind of belch out these orders to people, people begin following your orders. Roll a perception or a persuasion check for me, real quick.
Ooh,
Just,
charismatic as fuck. 4.
Wow.
So people begin following your orders. Roll. I want you to roll it with advantage.
That was very inspirational.
No, I think he farted halfway through the speech and just lost
And I
all
will give
credibility.
you some inspiration points. What'd you do?
13 was my
13.
roll.
I'm just gonna give you 3 inspiration points. So we'll say that is a 16 based on your speech that you are giving to people. And the reason I give you advantage is because the statue behind you looks very similar to you. So anybody watching this is gonna be like, okay.
Well, and he was inspirational on the battlefield.
He was leading a battle. He got 3 points for it. It's pretty good.
Hey, thanks, man.
You are ordering people around, and they seem to be listening to you as you do this. You manage to get 2 sergeants together that get their battalions together and kind of form up where you have placed them. There is a team of medics out there that is helping all of the wounded. At this point, anybody who's dead has turned to ash.
Gross.
Your people and their people, all of the dead, have turned to ash. So there's really
Are you trying
nobody
to stunt my growth?
to.
Yeah, he's like, no dead people for
Yeah,
you.
Devin can't
No
raise
more
it.
Nazareth.
She can't raise an army by herself.
Yeah.
Seriously,
He's
yeah, we
trying
could
to
just have her out
contain
there.
my resources over here.
Yeah, she could have been like,
carry
I
any
want
more
you,
dead.
I want you.
You
can come
get
too.
a capacity of 10, which is the cart we purchased, double 10.
I'm looking for the quartermaster because I want to start provisioning whatever wooden objects we have in the area, repurposing them to create some sort of barricade system to at least give us a pseudo wall. If not anything else, then to funnel their forces.
Yeah, and as you are kind of watching the people that you have ordered around, they begin piling up like a line of rubble, essentially, that has of collapsed buildings. You're watching as they are almost building a wall out of this rubble. It's obviously not as nice as the walls that they have on the other sides of the towns, but it is something that they can defend behind, right? They're doing the same with all the wood available and everything else. You do see some fires going on in front of you. There are plenty of wounded that are not dead in front
I'm
of
just
you.
gonna pull
being
out a
helped
flask, find the youngest looking guy that I can find, hand it to him, be like, good job out there, man.
Yeah, definitely. And as you do this, the rest of the group is coming out of the tower with Lorelei and Incardo. As you guys exit the tower at the bottom of the tower, you kind of catch the tail end of Budownik's speech that he's giving out. As you guys are kind of having a conversation with Lorelei about like how long is this gonna last and yada 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 and what do we need to do. Nincardo lets you guys know that you guys really need to go to Quintar Fox's office or establishment that is in Town Hall. Quintar is going to be the leader of Bultash.
Quintar Fox?
Quintar Folks, Folx.
As I walk up to the Budownik doing his speech, I'm going to go and say, good job. And I'm going to say, do you have people a big building or digging a trench in front of the hole in the wall? Because that is something that will also give us a little leverage there, fill it with spikes. I know that they're fungal guys, but they still don't want to climb on the sharp pokey things.
Let's secure the walls first before we start
Do you
trenching.
think we can build a wall that is going to be more stable than the stone one that knocked over pretty easily?
Oh, we'll build a wall, and we'll make them pay for it.
Cool. So we're gonna head to the town hall with Lorelei and Nincardo.
Definitely.
Yep. I think we're gonna leave Budownik.
Mike just did
Voltaire.
some psychic
I
damage.
thought this was a political strike.
Everybody takes 10 points.
Voltaire, are you gonna
You just
stay?
fucking dangled low-hanging fruit, bro. You didn't expect me to not take advantage of that.
You guys all walk to
That was
the town
beautiful.
hall,
Well,
which is
are
going to
you
be.
staying with Budownik?
No, I'm going to go and look for my glaive sabai, and I leave.
Okay.
Wait, before we are we all
I'm
together right
leaving.
now?
Well, I think us
Are we
three.
in the general area?
There's a moment that you guys have with Nicardo where he kind of explains to you guys.
Is he with that? Is there any point where we were together briefly?
All 5 of us.
Nicardo will bring you guys down together into the courtyard right in front of the statue.
When we meet up, I would like to take 10 minutes to ritual cast telepathic bond on us in case we get split up over the next hour.
Perfect. And as you were kind of sitting there, Nicardo speaks to you all and lets you guys know that there is going to be a king's dinner. You guys need to be a part of it. They're going to meet
War?
and figure out what to do next as he kind of gets his soldiers ready.
More like a
to-
war room thing than it is like a feast.
Okay, I'm like, this is not the time.
It's a war room strategy.
You have to
Okay.
eat and might as well
I'm just
roll
like-
a little bit.
We could,
I mean, we could die tomorrow, so, you know.
but still.
I am 33.
Nicardo lets you know that Quintar,
With the time.
King Quintar, is going to
King?
request you guys.
He's a king.
He's a king.
He's not a leader, he's a king.
He's going to request you guys around 8:45 tonight to
Damn.
help
That's a lot of
strategize.
dinners. 3 hours.
It will give them time to begin. He kind of goes over how they have a strategy where they need to implement all of their sergeants on the front line and get everyone involved to begin building a wall. They need to go over and brief through all of the defenses that are going to occur. And then they also need to figure out rations before your guys' meeting actually occurs. And he lets you know that there's about 3 hours that you guys have before you need to meet him.
Nicardo,
town hall.
do you guys have some sort of armory nearby where you can supply the weaponry?
Yeah, we have an armory. It's gonna be right behind the town hall and our barracks.
And is that just the free reign for any hero willing to pick up a weapon and fight?
If you go out there, they will help you. Guarantee it at this time.
I'm going to go look for my weapon first because I have a bit of a special connection with it. Maybe I'll see there afterwards. I will see you in 3 hours, and Nazlith, you be a good girl. Okay, bye. And I'm leaving. Fucking going.
Yeah, you go to find your weapon.
Yes.
Please roll.
I'm gonna cast guidance on him just before he leaves.
Yeah, definitely. And you feel just a little boost as you leave.
I'll think about you too, Budnik.
What are you doing to find this weapon? And you know where you lost it.
I actually have
You
locate
walked
object,
down
so I'm gonna
exactly.
go onto the top of the tower and I'm gonna cast a locate object from there.
Okay, you cast locate object.
Yes.
Oh, you did have it?
Yeah, I had it. We just never used it before. And it is quite familiar to me.
As you cast locate object, it is very familiar with you within 1,000 feet.
Yes.
You do not pick up the location of this object where you left it.
Where you didn't leave
where
it
you
was
had
still-
lost it.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump down from the wall, and I'm going to use my wings and glide a little bit forward. Probably, I would like to get no more than 500 feet from the wall, and then I'll cast that one more time.
They're 1,500 feet away, so if you're trying
Doesn't
to
locate
search it
object
up-
last for an hour?
Does it?
Oh.
Up to 10 minutes. Okay, so yeah.
As you walk around with
You're
locate
gonna
object,
get
you
closer level.
get down and you begin walking. What are you doing exactly?
I'm just kind of feeling out the area to see if I get any pings on where it might be, so I'm walking a little closer to where the armies are and where I would have guessed the people had gone. And
As you hop down on the other side of the wall, you hop down into darkness.
Oh shit!
With your
so literally the light ends at the wall?
the shadow that is being cast onto the wall, right,
Would he have seen that?
will give you about a 40-foot stretch of darkness before there's a little bit of light. There's like a stream of light around the city that's probably
So wait, is it
another
nighttime
40
now?
feet. It's about 6, what did we say, 5:30 at night, 6 at night?
It is, yeah.
Is it
5:30.
summertime?
It is in the middle. It is actually, we have discussed this as well. It is fall going into winter.
Okay, well, if it was totally
Because
pitch
you all
dark,
think winter is coming,
I
Jets.
would not have jumped down then.
That's fine. If you don't want to jump down, you don't have to. As you look down, it's very dark. You don't.
Can I see
catch
the ground?
A ping. You can see the ground barely.
Any
you can see the
enemies?
stream of light out in front of you. There's no enemies. A lot of ash. No enemies. And in the shadows of the
Turn to
wall,
ash.
there are piles of bodies that have not been hit by the radiant light, but are dead.
Alright, I would not have jumped down. I would have probably cried a little bit. And then I would have gone to the armory. Very grumpy styles.
And as you go to the army, I'm going to assume everybody went to the armory with.
I would have unbuckled my breastplate,
Yep.
put my sword in the ground, put the breastplate on the sword, and jumped in with my home skillets and started moving rubble to make a wall.
Definitely.
I would have started reading over the.
Roll a charisma check for me, by the way, Mike.
I would have started reading over the radiant
Yeah,
book
yeah.
that I bought and trying to start like learning. Obviously, I can't tell a long
General
rest, but I would
charisma?
like to start trying to learn some of the radiant spells in there.
I'm going to continue reading the Kalishtar book, and I know what you told me last.
What was the last thing I did?
The last thing you told me is that there was a group of 4 to 5 demons that went to Dreamworld, plane to plane, looking for territory. They were trying to connect regions. They were very territorial. They were running districts, the demon lords. The war tactics from demons, they were traveling by shadows, cracks and force.
I'm gonna say that you spend a decent amount of time reading this book
Yeah,
until
heavily.
dinner.
I'm gonna spend most of my 3 hours doing that.
You are probably about halfway through the book, and you're going in reverse. Remember?
Yeah.
And you've kind of learned the last half of like these demons and they took over this area and so on and so forth. The part that you're getting into is how they took over this area. You know that they have to travel by shadow, by darkness. They don't like the radiant light, per se. As you read through this, let me catch up on my notes to where you are. You get to the point of how they summoned Orcus to this plane. You realize as you are reading through this that Orcus seems to be the ringleader, the king demon of this place. He has these shackles, one on each hand, that he is able to connect to planes, and that is how he's able to conquer these planes.
Yeah.
The demons, the way that they summon Orcus is they take over a certain region. For instance, in the dream plane, the way that they summoned Orcus was that Baphomet, Grazit, Zatmoy, the Demigorgon, I think I gave you one more.
You gave me 4.
Okay. So,
Baphomet.
yes, Baphomet, Grazit, Demigorgon,
Demigorgon.
and Zatmoy.
Exactly, yeah.
The way that they summoned Orcus to that plane to connect his bindings to the dream plane is that they took over very specific cities that created Baphomet's symbol, which is an upside down 5-pointed star.
Okay.
It's a real symbol. You can Google it if you would like.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Baphomet symbol.
Okay.
You roll an intelligence check for me.
Intelligence?
Yep.
11.
Okay. I set it at a 10.
Oh, nice.
So it's pretty low. It's a very general intelligence. You have a realization that as you kind of like, you with keen mind specifically would do a good job at this. You would know that as you're kind of looking at the map and you're looking at your location, you're looking at locations where you know these demons exist.
Currently in this time.
Currently in this time, you happen to know that they are attacking Centisio. They have Bultash. You're going to Everina where you believe that they are. And there's a couple other cities like Groundspire and you're not sure about the northwestern corner of this, but you, while you're looking at the map and kind of reading this book, simultaneously realize that Bultash makes a star with some of these other cities.
So right
if
now
you
I
were to
know
connect them.
that there's 4 right now for sure. I know that there's Centisio, Everina, Groundspire, and Bultash. I don't know what the other point is of the star.
Correct.
Can I look at the map and kind of
Those aren't even
guesstimate?
points. You would notice that Groundspire is the dead center
Oh, okay.
of this star.
So it's not
Whereas
really
Centisio, Bultash, Thogport, and Everina, sorry, not Thogport, Everina, and then an unknown location, which you could guess by looking at the map, but they actually make this star up.
So wait,
They make this upside down symbol
So what's in the center?
at
Groundspire's the center. So I don't know the
You
2
don't know
other
the
points.
Northwestern, northeastern.
You don't know the northwestern point. Looking at the map, it'd be pretty easy to ascertain
the
that
main
point.
cities, yeah.
But as you look at this map, you notice that these cities that you are somehow destined to go to at this point seem to make up this upside down star. As you continue reading through your literature given to you by Duarte from Centisio, it goes over how these 4 demon lords took over these cities and raised these spires from these certain points, and these spires connected with a magical energy that cast for hundreds of miles and created a portal at the center of them that brought Orcus to that dream plane.
So I can ascertain that Groundspire is going to be the main point that Orcus would potentially come from then.
Yes. And you would have an understanding now that Bultash is probably one of those points.
Yeah.
And you don't know what other points have been taken or not. You know Centisio, where you have left, was
Right.
currently battling one of those issues. You don't know what's happening there now. You know that where you're at now is currently dealing with one of those issues. You don't know how many points have been taken. In the book that you read, you realize that once the 5 points are taken, they create a portal in the center where Orcus can be summoned to that plane. And as soon as he is summoned to that plane, his bindings on his arms essentially connect a bridge from the abyss to that plane for anybody who wants to cross it. Which is why the dream plane got taken over, is because this already occurred, and as soon as Orcus hit the dream plane, he bound his bracers to the dream plane, and he let in a flood of demons who rid the dream plane of the Kalish Star. And you kind of, Willow, as you are sitting there by yourself, as everyone else is kind of doing their thing, you have a realization that this is happening on the material plane. And if Orcus makes it here, he will unleash a gate for the demons to come across and be able to flood the material plane with the abyss. You continue reading as you have a decent amount of time before you need to get going to your dinner.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So
And it's called the Sigil of
Okay, sigil of Baphomet.
It is the symbol that is created on the plane to to bring Orcus to that plane.
So there was the war between the devils and the demons. Like
The Blood War.
the blood war, right? So they were trying to, in the Dreamland, take over terrain.
The Blood
From the
War had
demons?
nothing to do
Nothing to do with Orcus.
with the Dream Plane.
Oh,
It had a lot to do with Orcus and the demons. What you would know is the Blood War was
right.
has been going on for thousands upon thousands of years.
Okay.
Tens of thousands of years. It is off and on. What happens is
It's a Cold War.
there is the 9 layers of hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the abyss. The abyss is occupied by demons. The 9 layers of hell is occupied by devils.
Got it. Okay, so they're just in a war.
They
itself.
fight each other constantly
Got
over
it.
trying to take over those layers of hell or take over the abyss without gaining much. Because there's so many layers to each plane, it is a very hard war. What happens is when they have breaks in war, is the demons specifically like to go start battles with other planes. They did this with the Dream Plane. When they were out of battle, they made it to the Dream Plane. You would roll one more intelligence check for me, just so I can figure out how far you get in this book. Because I know you are a very
17.
smart person. As you are reading through this book, you get a little bit further, and you get past the part of the demons bringing Orcus up. You read through a part where about kind of how that all occurred, and once you get past that, you get to the demon battles before Orcus was on the Dream Plane. Before Orcus was on the Dream Plane, there was a lot of infighting between the 4 demons on the plane. Grozit doesn't seem to, in this story, make it to see Orcus on this plane of existence. He dies through the battles of the Kalishtar. They
I was gonna
managed to
fucking ask
kill
him.
one demon.
Yeah, because I was like, he's like one of the other ones we have not seen yet. Okay. so
Correct.
he's- Yeah.
You, as you read this, realize that he had an issue with Baphomet, and you're not sure what happened, but you would know through your readings that demons are very hot and cold. They're very bipolar. There's a lot of ups and downs with them. There's a lot of infighting. If they want something, if Baphomet wants something, that's what he's going to go do.
Right.
If Zucktoy wants something, that's what she's going to go do. She doesn't care what Baphomet thinks, and vice versa, and yada yada yada. So there was some kind of infighting between Grozit and Baphomet. In the Kalishtar were able to take advantage of that to kill.
They were. Sorry, say
Ross.
that again. They were take advantage of what?
They took advantage of the infighting
to pretty
and
much.
were managed to kill the one demon lord.
Okay.
They don't know what happened. The last part you end on is the demon lords coming to this plane and how they came to this plane. The way that they came to the Dream Plane through the story that you are reading is there seems to be some sort of aboleth that enters the Dream Plane at one point in time. It's very unclear of how this occurred, but you see that there are many cities on the Dream Plane that band together to fight this aboleth.
Okay.
Once this aboleth is killed, it almost seems like 30, 40 years goes by. The time frame's kind of unclear. But that aboleth happened to be the pet of Baphomet. And Baphomet's coming for his vengeance. And Baphomet's the first person who enters the Dream Plane. Baphomet held the key to get the rest of the demon lords minus Orcus to the Dream Plane, but he is the reason they entered the Dream Plane, and he is one of the key people who summoned Baphomet to that Dream
Orcus, you
Plane.
mean?
Orcus,
Baphomet,
yes.
okay.
Baphomet summoned Orcus to that dream plane.
I'm not here, but I just want to make sure I'm clear. Baphomet, John Wicked, the Kalishtar.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Baphomet
I got no
realized that
problem.
his...
Kalishtar fucking deserve it.
There's no explanation of why the aboleth was there, right?
Right.
But it was... There's a realization as you're reading that aboleth had something to do with Baphomet. And he was there as a vengeance for that aboleth. You also get... The very last part you get to is the very beginning of the story. Before you reach Duarte's family story, which is going to be the first little piece of the book, the first third of the book, say. Right before you get to that, you are reading through, and you have an understanding that the aboleth, when it was there and it was killed, it died in a certain spot. That specific spot where it died started growing a plant very similar to the one you guys are after. That plant managed to get kind of remanufactured throughout the dream plane. And through that plant seems to be how the demons were able to access so many locations of that plane. So essentially, that animal became soil. The aboleth became the soil that grew that plant. And that plant is what was traded and sold on the dream plane, which then the demon lords used to their advantage to get onto the dream plane. And you kind of have this realization of like, this is very similar to what's happening right now on our plane.
Right. Would I happen to recall my readings in the past or anything like that? Like, is it devils or demons that if you know their name in a certain type of way, there is magic that can bind them in some type of way?
You would not know through your roll. Well, we're going to go off your two intelligence checks that I've already made you roll. You don't have a connection point for that. You know that through your readings that there's like cults that are dedicated to demons, and there's cults dedicated to devils, and there's cults you know, any kind of god or entity, you know, there's a cult for it, essentially. You would happen to know with your like roots with Nazlith and your guys' kind of small discussions that this cult that you guys are dealing with was a demon cult, but also a necromancy cult. Like that's, you get the gist that that's kind of what they started out with.
The
was
Droll
like
God or Droll
they
Man?
believed in
God?
raising the dead kind of thing, and that kind of led them to the demon side of things. Just off of your natural intelligence from conversation, that you would kind of gather that bit of info. You wouldn't have much more
Okay.
outside of that. You would know that they are arch enemies. Like,
Yeah.
devils don't like demons.
Right.
Demons don't like devils. They are literally water and oil when it comes to each other, right? One is the devils are a very lawful evil. They believe in law.
Yeah.
There is a law to devils and worshiping devils.
Wolfram and Heart.
With demons, none.
Free reign, do whatever
It
you
is
want.
like if
Free set of dice,
it's an
whoever gets that
impulse, you
reference.
fucking hit that impulse. You know what I mean?
Looking at the map one more time and looking pretty much, I'm going to draw on the map the points that I know already.
Yes.
If I make a straight line, am I able to kind of get a general idea of the main cities that potentially could hit that other point?
You would. And before we get there, I would say that you know the city on the Dream Realm that they used as their main point as Zemden. Zemden.
It was the
On-
center?
That would be the center
Okay.
city. On your plane, you would, as you're kind of looking at the map, you would know this to be Groundspire.
Yep.
Centesio would be one of the points. Bultash would be one of the points. You don't know the northwesternmost point. You guys are kind of on the southwestern point. You would know Bultash, San something. I forgot the name of it, but I will get you the name at halftime.
San Diego.
San what?
San Leafus.
San Lefis, yeah. I think that's it. That is it.
Not San Diego.
No.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
San Diego.
San Diego.
Wales. And that's where you will kind of end your readings. And you're kind of you are now entering the point of like, you kind of understand the large scope dynamics of the demons being on the plane. And you're kind of getting into now the nitty gritty that is the story of Duarte's family. Dealing with this situation in real time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the dream plane. And that's probably about all the reading you will get done before you guys have to go about your dealio. Voltaire, what are you doing during your time? I know you went and looked for your weapon. You couldn't find it. I will give you about 10 more minutes of or 30 more minutes of you have something. If you need to accomplish something, you can.
I wanted to go to the armory and try and find a glaive.
I will remind you, you are in your hot pants, hot shorts.
Once the battle started, I would have swapped them out.
Okay. We didn't say that. I watched last episode. You battled that whole episode in your shorts.
I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me.
Maybe you didn't battle it, but technically.
It probably helped inspire the men, and I'm okay with that.
Technically. But yeah, you go to the armory. Unfortunately, the armory that you originally went to was kind of towards the front of town, like on the rubble line. So as you kind of show up to this armory, it's flattened. It is no longer there. It's the one where you had to pass the statue to get to from.
Take away our weapons, take away my army. We have no fucking resources. It's fucking us over.
You got me.
What's the DM doing? But what are you? Do you have any? What are you doing at this time? As you kind of walk to the building you're supposed to go to, you have a clear realization that it's not standing.
I'm going to cast Locate Object again, and this time I'm going to narrow it down to just any kind of glaive.
It has to be a specific item, doesn't it?
Yes, a glaive.
If you can't find the thing that you're looking for,
right?
Locate object, locate
You can find
a
the
specific
nearest
object known
closest
to you
object.
as long as you've seen it up close within 30
specific
feet.
Yeah, you can do your specific blade.
As long as you've seen it up close.
So I can't locate a generic item that I've seen before.
I will say that you are in the metal shop, and as you kind of show up and you see the rubble, roll an intelligence check for me. We're going to put this at 14. If you get above 14, I will say that you saw a glaive on the wall in that shop.
No, it's right there.
And you may or may not be able to locate it. If you don't get a 14, that's not even an opportunity.
18.
He found it.
With
And that was
an
in the negative one!
With an 18, as you cast Locate Object again and use your intelligence to kind of remember back, like, this shop, all these nice people were in here. The thoughts going through Voltaire's head, I would imagine, would be something along the lines of, there's like 4 people who told me my shorts were hot here, and like their building collapsed, and this sucks. Like, I feel so bad for them. But I remember this glaive that was in this building. Let me see if I can find this glaive. And as you kind of cast it, you manage to find this glaive 3 or 4 feet down in the rubble of this building. As you begin digging out, I will let you get a very basic glaive, very standard glaive out from there as you are beginning to wait. Nazlith, what are you doing as this is all occurring?
I'm reading that Radiant book, remember? I'm
You are
trying
reading
to-
the Radiant book, trying to learn some spells from it. I would say that you get a decent way through the book, and you begin to come upon the pages where it begins to talk about different spells and spells that are occurring, and you manage to find a spell which I will give to you. And it's going to take you some time to practice that spell before you understand how to use it, but you do find a spell that seems to be useful for you. I will give that to you at halftime.
Okay.
Emberly, what are you doing as all this is occurring?
I'm just hanging out, looking at my bracers. Pretty much just listening to her as she's thinking about what she's reading.
Perfect. I'm going to leave that there. That's perfect. As you kind of hang out with Willow, and you are going through the book with Willow. I'm assuming Willow's going to be talking to you about what the book is.
No, telepathically.
Telepathically, I just
Telepathically,
read.
yes.
I'm reading aloud about
That's
it.
fine.
So we all hear you.
No,
Budownic.
just to her.
No, she cast that.
Well, I did
We're all
cast
telepathically
telepathic
linked.
bond.
Yeah, but I can telepathically link me and her on a
Budownic, what are you doing as you...
Sweating. Heavily.
Wait.
Very heavily.
We
Yeah,
gotta lose
Working
a-
my ass off.
a
If I
language
see somebody
to
that's
the-
slowing down, I'm there to encourage them to not slow down and also, put my boot in their ass.
Roll
Like,
a,
it's
roll a
complicated
charisma
thing.
check for me with
I
advantage.
did it earlier.
Yeah, I know you did, but
18.
roll me one more with advantage.
My other one was 18, if that means anything.
It does.
I forget.
That was a
Perfect.
war one. This is going to be a...
Perfect. No, you had me roll another one just before you started reading. But,
did I?
15.
Oh, that's true, you did.
I do.
15.
We'll take the 18. I didn't realize I had you roll one just right then and there. We'll take your 18. Your charisma check, as you are walking around helping people, you kind of notice that a lot of people are gravitating towards you for answers, for things to do, for just for help in general. And you seem to take to that very well. It seems like your usual narcissistic ways and your usual like ego just kind of floods from you for this moment of like, I need to help people. It's not about money, it's not about you, it's
Well, this is
about
about people.
people. And the fact that there's a lot of hobgoblins here, I think, gives to that, invoices that to you a bit. Your couple hours go by and you guys all realize that it is kind of time to meet up with the king and his commanders. I'm going to just assume you guys go to the town hall about this time. And we
Do
are
you
going
want to
to...
go to the dinner that we were invited to? Have we talked about this, or are we just gonna?
Well, it seemed like
I
it was a
have
bit
no
of
problem
a
with
summons, and if we don't go, they probably will be mad at
Given the
us.
fact that we are surrounded and we have no resources, I don't really think we have a choice.
Hold on, are we actually surrounded? Or did they retreat to one specific area?
Right, that's what I can see. It looks like,
Surrounded.
no, yeah, we're pretty well surrounded.
Alright, dinner it is then.
Unless one of you has a teleport spell that can drain
Not anymore.
walls.
Well, and I can only bring one person smaller or my size.
Well, that's what it is.
Well, shit.
I hope you guys saved before we got to this part in the story, because if you die now, you're gonna lose all your progress of the last, several weeks. Just saying.
I get what you're saying. I understand what you're putting down. I mean, if someone were to try to give their life, I could death ward us.
I have some abilities as well.
No, you don't say.
No, no.
You
I
have the ability
I
to
have
prevent
no,
death.
no,
those
no.
things.
I can do it with. Well,
Listen,
I can
if my
talk about
eyeball's
that.
hanging out of my skull, just do me a favor. and put it
No,
down.
no.
You
No.
got it.
It's tempting, but.
So are we still the five fungi?
I'm not having fun.
What are we doing here? What are
Uh,
we not?
I think we're actually the king's quintuplet, but that's just me.
Which one of us is not included in this?
Quintuplet is 5. Count them.
Quartet is
Quartet is for that. Okay. Yeah, I did not know the fancy
That
words.
is why
Sorry,
your
math,
intelligence
right?
is negative
Math,
one.
I understand. Math was never your strong.
And as you guys all
Neither was the
enter
language.
the town hall, it's a very somber scene. You guys see there's essentially a table laid out in the center of this town hall. It's a very large room, but it is only occupied by about 8 people. 7 people, sorry. One of which, at the very end, in the large chair of this, it's a round table, by the way. But obviously, in the largest chair at the end of the table, furthest from you guys, is the king's seat. This is going to be Quintar Fulks. Around him is mostly hobgoblins, with a couple half-elves and humans sprinkled in. But there's 4 hobgoblins. They are going to all be commanders or his, not assistant, but someone who helps you with
Advisor.
An advisor, yes.
A czar.
He's got a couple advisors to his left and his right. And then on the side of the table closest to you are the commanders. You would notice Commander Nincardo at the table. There are 5 seats for you guys as you...
Oh, we got seats at the table? What?
assumingly walk up. Nincardo kind of welcomes you to sit down. We are about to start our meeting.
Quick question. Do you by any chance have a what am I thinking? Courier?
Okay, you can sit down for yourself.
Unfortunately, courier has passed.
Excellent.
If you need something, we can get it done. Surely somebody can fill the role.
Do you have bird?
I'm
Fly? Oh, I'm side talking, sorry.
I was going to ask the important question that we all should be worrying about. Have we cleared the women and children out, and do we have a path for the infirm and the elderly?
Anybody else, the women hobgoblin of this town are some of the most ferocious fighters.
That is true. I saw them very well fighting. Anyways, anyone who needs to escape, like the children or the infirm, is there a way that we can get them out of the city?
And you see as you kind of ask that, Nincardo, sit down. We will have our discussion. And you sit down. The first thing that they go over in this round table, King Quintar begins to speak. He lets you know, yes, the elderly and the children have all been sent to the caves just west of us. I'm not sure how they are doing at this point, but that is the only chance we have of fleeing the city.
That is very good. Now, how about the rest of us get the hell out too?
We must set up a defense and make our way out with precautions.
I also think running away is not going to help us.
So you think we can defend this position?
I don't know if we can, but we need to, unless we want the ritual to be completed.
What ritual are you talking about?
The ritual of summoning Orcus, the demon lord, who potentially could wipe out this whole material plane.
Well, do you know that the name Killer Whale is actually just kind of like it's not really what.
Right.
It's
As
not
you say this
what
out
you think.
loud,
Right.
you will
They're
notice
very
that
friendly.
the majority of the tension at the table, as you kind of say this, like turns to you, and the king says, "Please,
Will.
share the information you have. What is your name?"
Hello, good sirs. I am Willow.
Golf clap over here.
I am one of the Divine Twins.
I would like you to expound upon your comments here. What do you believe is occurring?
The same thing that happened to the Kalstar when they were in the dream world. Demons came to certain points, 5, well, almost like 6 points, and created a sigil that created a portal or some sort to open up to shackle Orcus to this dream world, to the dream world, and then demolished and killed everyone on it.
Where did you get this information from?
In a book. Kalashar history.
That is sweet, but I could write a book right now and it could be full of lies.
Oh, by all means.
Do you
Definitely
do you have any alternative information though? Do you have
Right.
anything else to go off of?
We
I know-
currently have no information on
So-
what attacked us,
so-
or how they attacked us,
so
or
the-
why they attacked
So a
us.
sliver of a lead of some sort is better than no lead, yes?
I would just like to know that our lead is at least
What, running away?
factual.
Well, we came from Centisio, which seems to be one of the points of the 6 points to create and open this portal. We know of those 2 demon lords who attacked and are currently waiting. Their goal is to take over said lovely city and will in decay now, to make a tick mark on their tour of destruction.
We have also had direct contact with these creatures before and can verify that they do have malicious intent for this plane. What
that
she's
is
saying
putting
lines
it a
up
little
with
low.
what we have experienced and have been told by these creatures firsthand.
Maybe you would have noticed that we seem to be the only 5 people out there who knew what the hell we were doing. That's why we told everyone not to use fire. We told everyone if you can use the radiant light damage. That is why we raced to the top of the tower to save the freaking town.
There is a reason you're here, and it's because Nincardo has
Sorry.
spoken for you.
Because he recognized the things that
God, I'm getting a car
Bultash
now.
just mentioned. He was there to witness all of
I
this.
have heard what you guys have done.
I am not surprised. I'm very famous.
What I don't understand is that you came to us, and then they came to us.
We came here
Yeah,
with
they went
purpose.
Well, no, it actually turns out that we are with them, and we thought it would be such a great plot for them if we burned half of their freaking army alive. No, we showed up because we knew this attack was going to happen because of the evidence that
I
the Willow
understand you are
found.
running from them.
No,
I just
No.
don't understand
we are
why.
running towards them.
We're running to.
So you would like to fight them?
That is why we're here.
Well, if you think that you can hold the city, great, then we'll stay. But if you think that you are going to fall, we might as well move on to the next city.
Yeah.
No, that I totally agree.
So
We
you're
can
not
find a
so-
more defensible town, maybe one who's willing to work with us a little bit. Maybe find us a +2 glaive or something. That would be nice.
Let me just add something to my list real quick.
We have lost more than half of our army in one battle.
It could have been worse.
I would like you to give me a reason why we should stay.
You're a fucking hobgoblin. What kind of coward runs a city of warriors and tucks their tail from a defensible position? Our homeland. This is our city. You need no other reason.
Roll a perception or a persuasion check for me.
Are you charismatic at all?
No, 17.
Okay.
It's not safe, damn it.
Why didn't you cast guidance on yourself?
Hold
I
on.
always forget. It's heated moments
Heat of the
of passion.
moment.
Anywho.
I would have to agree with you. We do not usually run into the mountains with our tail in between our legs. However, usually I'm not attacked with a force that takes down a third of my walls around my city. If we stay, we have to come up with some kind of plan, as they're obviously waiting.
How many magic users do you have in this city? Or who remains, I guess I should say.
And you see Nincardo kind of raises his hand. We have half a dozen. It's not many of us.
Are they of a divine schooling of magic?
Willow.
If perhaps you had to put some sort of like numerical value on their skill level,
If you had to say between god and peasant,
perhaps
1 to 20,
1 to 20.
where do they fall?
Willow. Through your readings or your experience, do you
Sorry, I'm
know
looking
if
for
these
someone.
things are affected by holy water?
Radiance and light are their enemies.
Have we tried holy water at all?
We messed with some holy water.
Did we?
That
Yeah.
is, Remember
And
when,
we put
it
when
in
they
a bowl.
broke? You were there for that when
Yeah.
the.
Oh, it was
No, that was
farming it
yours.
though,
Yeah,
right?
That was
It
yours,
was hurting
yeah,
it.
right,
Yes.
right. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
it
the
worked.
focus.
Can you guys bless a bunch of water and we pour it over the walls?
Can you bless a bunch of water?
I cannot,
Okay.
but they could.
I can.
They could.
It takes me some time to bless holy water.
Why
can
don't
only
we
do like
make
a
a
cubic
trench
foot at
of
a time,
holy
though.
water around the city?
not
We're
a
gonna
bad
get
idea.
squirt guns full of holy water.
We need to dig a moat immediately.
Well, holy water you can
Unfortunately-
give to non-magic users.
Being up in the mountains, we are a little lacking in the water that we have.
What do you do for bathing and drinking? Where is your water
We
stored?
have water, I just don't think it is as effective
Can I take a
That's
big
the
whiff? And what
light
kind of scent am I getting?
that you
from
guys
it?
have
I
attempted
will
to help us
break one of
with.
my toothpicks and you'll get a lofty scent of hibiscus.
Oh. Yeah. I was about to.
Wait, so what do you mean? This is a last-ditch effort. I would not worry about trying to preserve long-term, year-long water supply. I would use it all.
If we
right
want
now.
to save lives, my suggestion is we go into the mountain and we flee the city.
Like,
And
we all
give it
know
up.
what your suggestion is.
You don't understand.
That is with the
We're not talking about just the doom of your city.
empathy of my citizens.
Your
But I-
citizens are born and bred. Fire is in our blood. Look at the ash that's outside.
Ooh.
Have you been outside?
Okay.
You've already lost people who are trying to defend the city, and you would surrender it to our enemies because it's hard, because they're impossible odds and low chance of survival. I say, what are we waiting for?
Did you pick up a weapon and fight it all today?
Kings don't fight.
If we're speaking
Not
from a
the good
logical
ones.
standpoint,
Not the
if
bad
you
ones.
do not think that you could win this battle, then I suggest that you do flee and that
No.
we move on to another city.
I agree.
Then we can call, unfortunately, this city lost. We don't know how many other points of this sigil has been completed already.
Part of the problem that you're not seeing here is that this army is not just moving through, killing, and moving on. They're moving through, killing, taking your citizens, turning them into their own army, and then growing, and then moving on.
Correct.
They get stronger every time they go through a town. And this isn't just the fate of your city we're talking about the fate of the entire continent.
But do you guys think we'd be able to beat this army
No.
as we stand here today?
I need
We
more
have
time.
a better situation than we probably would in any other city. Those mirrors up there, if we strategize and perhaps create some sort of timed bomb, draw them into the city almost
Exactly.
as much as we can, and then activate the tower, and then take
Funnel
out
them
Yes.
right to the city center where
Right.
they can't do anything else.
Right.
I do
Do
think,
you know what they have to do to make this sigil?
Yes.
What do they have to be in the middle of the town to do
No,
some sort
they
of
need
ritual?
to consume the city. They need to be at that city, and they need to make sure that that is a point. So they need
They
to take over the city.
So what might actually be the best thing to do,
Specifically?
send everyone away. Leave your 6 spellcasters here with us. We will draw them to the tower. And then boom.
Whoa, right.
Wait, what
You're
was
talking
the
about
thing? Hold on,
facing.
Chris has
I was gonna say you would specifically know that the way that they summon Orcus is the reason they take over towns that make up this shape is because if they can use the mass of individuals in these towns to their advantage to get what they need, whether it's the plants, whether it's just bodies that they need.
Right,
They're
right,
just looking
right,
for
right.
biomass at this point.
And they can create what they need.
Energy
You're
from
unsure. You're
Okay.
kind of unsure of your readings what that is exactly.
Right.
So like come, destroy, go.
Yeah.
But they get what they need and they build something in that area that creates a connection to the other points that they have built to summon.
Okay.
Orcus. So you know it has something to do with that.
So I think that based off of that, I think that to build this city to be a point is that they may need bodies. So I think you guys are correct that if you do not think King Falks, if you do not think that you can protect this city and beat 2 demon lords, then I suggest that you flee with your people now.
Again, though, I have to ask, which city is going to have a more built-in weapon that we can use that is so effective?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And
They
it's-
should leave. We can stay with a couple of
One
high-class
problem there,
nobles.
though, is if they're drawn towards the bodies, then the bodies now leaving, maybe they
They're
won't
going
be
to
interested in
follow
the
it
city.
with they won't stay at the city.
Right,
The temptation is the people.
the people.
Your
That's,
citizens cannot stay together. You'll have to spread them out thin.
or we bring them together into the
No,
center
you
of
don't.
town.
Most of them are at the mouth of our tunnel to the north of the city,
They cannot stay together.
outside of the ones willing to fight.
Are they within the light barrier right now?
Barely.
If they were outside of that, they are probably doomed. Like, keep them within that light. That light is the only thing saving their lives right now. We don't know if they can sense bodies or what the deal is there.
We are talking about this like we need to defeat an entire army in one day.
That
We
is
do.
what it sounds like.
That is not what we need to do. What is the crux of every army has a great leader. We don't need to kill 15,000 people. 15,000 people don't want to fight. They're
Yeah,
only
but where's the
fighting
leader?
because we know the leaders.
We have fought.
There are two.
Where are they now?
Our,
They're out there.
our highest
They
priority.
were coming in.
But
They weren't coming in.
we have
They were
seen the
staying
entire time we
outskirts.
have fought this low rad lady. So she is coward. She runs. She stays behind. She doesn't come up to do any of the fighting. Maybe Baphomet is different. I don't know.
Zuckmoy is high class, but I believe that Baphomet, based off my readings, should be priority as being the one who can actually know how to get Orcus here.
And you were the one that was saying that Baphomet is like the pinnacle, the first point, the initial contact, the point of the spear. He comes first. Then everything else follows behind him.
But he wasn't leading the army. He stayed behind and let his army do the
So did
talking for
Zuckmoy.
him. You're saying that we
this
need
is
to
not
draw.
the way to go about getting these.
How do we
lords.
draw them out?
There-
What is your
one of-
plan?
Correct me if I'm wrong. One of the demon lords was in the city.
They were both stayed on the outskirts.
They both made it into.
They
the
got
city.
They made it
close.
into
What?
the city?
At
Once
one
the
point,
radiant
they
damage.
broke the wall.
I was on the ground and I saw
Once the
them.
radiant damage hit,
They
is
retreated.
when they began to retreat.
Did they take damage? Did we see them take any kind of damage from that?
If I remember, they didn't take any damage.
Nobody saw
Head of the
exactly
snake.
what happened with them.
This is it. You have terra firma, and you cut the head off the snake.
But
Those
how
are the
do you
first two rules of
separate
engagement.
the army? They still came with the army, even if they were in the army.
We
They were still
already
there.
have a plan for that. We draw our forces to the center of the tower. We funnel their forces to the center of the city.
That is exactly what I was trying to say.
You're
yes.
assuming that their
We
intelligence
phalanx.
level is low enough that they won't think that we'll turn this sucker back on.
Maybe they possibly might understand that we will. That's probably a risk they're going to take. Fiends, demons, devils,
They can
they're
wait
in it for the
forever.
bloodlust.
They'll wait forever.
But they're in it for the bloodlust. They're here to try and conquer this land. They're not gonna wait much longer. They don't care like we care about our people. They'll throw hordes and hordes and hordes up against the spiked wall just to.
That's
Dull
what
the
I'm saying.
spikes.
They'll wait forever. They'll try forever. They're not gonna go away till they.
They're not going away.
That's what
at
I'm
any
saying.
point in time.
If we make it seem like maybe something happened to where we couldn't keep the light up anymore, make it seem like we can't reproduce that, they would feel safe to come in and attack,
An injured animal.
and then we turn it around.
We pretend to be the injured animal.
Yes.
We play help me.
Yes.
You remember when we used to play help me? Get help.
Yes, I remember.
You remember Get Help?
Yes, I remember Get Help. It didn't always work, but
It's not. We can't have a waiting game because then we are for sure knowing that they're going for the other points.
We have less than 24 hours to deal a blow to them that is so significant that they cannot come back in the immediate. We need to buy ourselves time.
we cannot let the city fall. This tower right here, it is the best chance we have to do the most damage we can.
If we abandon this opportunity, we will never see another one like it.
King Folks, this is your land. We are here as guests.
Are you guys asking me to use my citizens as bait for your plan?
Basically, yes. Or you could just let them die. Either way, that doesn't seem much better one way or another, except this other way we have a chance. I don't know. Maybe that's not how you want to do it. You don't want to win. You want your people to
So
die.
with
You're
your-
part of the army, but I think that we go with the one that at least has a shot.
It is your choice, King Folks.
With your knowledge, if I flee with my citizens to the north, into the mountains,
Then you are vulnerable
in
and you
attempts
are
to
exposed.
save them,
Right.
what
likelihood,
happens?
They'll have a harder time getting to you if you go through the mountains.
But they will follow you. They don't care about this land.
Well, how important is the location of that sigil? Does the killing have to happen at this point for it to count for anything?
Well, we don't even necessarily know that they actually need the bodies. They need materials of some sort to build something at a point.
But is location key here?
But I
If
think there's a
location is
horizon, what I think. Yes,
if
location
location
is
is key, then he should flee with his citizens.
Location is key.
What's going to happen if he does that, though, is that he's going to chase the citizens down, kill them, take
And
what he
then
needs from
bring
them,
them back
and
here.
then come back here.
That
Yeah.
might buy even more time though.
Okay, so do
Get
you
them
guys
out
want to be
there.
lambs for the slaughter then? Is that, I mean, you know...
He has a better chance if he takes the people out of the city. Then we can just assume that unfortunately the city is lost. We then have to move on to the different points and at
But you
least try to
have
get
to
there
move
sooner.
an entire city through mountains. Resources. Where's the food coming from? Where are we going to stay? We'll be open. We'll be exposed.
That is better than leaving them here knowing that they're going to die for
I'm
sure.
sure the
and then
city
continue
has
At
a
to
least
conscience.
with the light, they turn to
For this.
ash.
We have like
Our
a
people will
guaranteed
die.
bomb that will kill them almost instantly if we activate it properly at the right time. Is Lorelai here?
You would notice that Lorelai is not present at this meeting. Nincardo is there.
Nincardo. How is Lorelai doing?
She is fine. She went back to the Temple of La Paredi.
To the best of your knowledge, do you think this spell is something that we can recreate?
Are you talking about the light?
Yes.
We would have to go to talk to her, but I think so.
And I know that she was very upset about the idea of possibly sacrificing some spellcasters, but if it comes to the city and the people or a few spellcasters, I would be hoping...
The
Us
Temple
as
of
well,
La
yes.
Paredi is our only place where we have spellcasters. There are half dozen.
That
of
is
them.
more than we had before when we cast this first light that killed a large portion of the army.
Concentrate the spellcasters at
The
near
most
the
of
tower.
them
Maybe
are-
at the base of the tower.
You guys casting the light are
Let's
much
be-
more advanced than the spellcasters we have available.
If you had to number it.
She
Between God
She
and
is
Level
the-
2!
20 to
Level 2!
she teaches at La Paredi for the rest of the temple. It's not.
So she's high class.
Just her though.
We don't have many, is what I'm telling you.
Right.
Do you want that?
one teacher.
One or two more?
Teacher.
Outside of that, I don't think the rest will be able to help you with the light.
Logically
That is
speaking,
still
we
better
have
than
no
what we
advantage
had.
here.
How do we not have an advantage?
You're expecting us to kill not one, but 2 demon
one.
lords.
We only need to
One.
kill one at a time.
One that seems to invade us 3 times? If I'm wrong?
Do you mean she runs away from us like a
I'm
coward?
going to be honest
How many
here.
times do we have to beat her?
My current skill set does not suit this. I am basically fucking useless. Let's be honest.
You have
I know,
powers.
all I
you
have
have
is guiding
spells
bolts, all
on
I
your
have.
side.
She
No,
is
you have-
also a fighter base. There's only so much radiant.
Am
she
I
can
to
do.
understand we're not to use fire either?
Please don't use fire.
Yeah, no.
Tetrahedron's
Grows
out.
it.
That takes quite a bit of our forces away.
Yeah, fire no good.
My necromancy is not going to do anything. Just saying.
Yeah, we're
It's
not,
not
in a
going
good
to.
place.
I say we Thermopylae with just the mages. And give enough time for some of the citizens to at least vacate as far as they can.
We don't have very many mages.
So then just us.
We are a city of hobgoblins, a couple clerics, a couple monks. We don't have much.
The best we can do to thwart their plan is to get the citizens out so they cannot establish this point.
But
They-
what makes you think that there's a minimum safe distance?
There is.
They will
we don't
follow
know
them
that.
everywhere. We know this. We've seen this happen.
We are not going to win this location. We need to at least get to another location.
What other location would have a weapon that we have here?
You don't know.
We don't
The
know that.
only problem with this is if they choose to target the tower specifically.
That's what we want. It's in the middle of the city. That's
If
what
they
we want.
choose to attack the tower with, say,
They were
long-range
screwed.
ballista, and the tower falls, yes, we have a problem. But I
Like
do
seeing
not
ducks up
know
there.
at what point in history hobgoblins became cowards. If you want to flee into the mountains and be known as King Fox the Timid, then by all means run.
The wise. The cautious.
Or he could be King Reckless, who killed all of his citizens for pride. Death
It is not for pride. We have a plan. We have a weapon that is
Death-
proven to work.
He is arguing
Death
from
in
the point
battle.
of pride. He has
Death
hobgoblin.
in battle is the
Alright, we're gonna
pinnacle
be
of
attacked right now. We
hobgoblin.
need to make a decision
Achievements.
fucking now.
Keen folks, what is your decision?
That statue that's outside is not there because he chose to run.
Closing statements have been provided. It is now up to
I-
jury to make final decision.
Not sure what to do
So Keen,
as
you
far
are-
as
If they need your people,
my citizens
they will
go.
have your people.
I will tell you that if I choose to retreat, your friend Budalik is right. The hobgoblins of this city won't forget.
I telepathically tell Emberly, I think if they choose to stay and fight, then we should just vamoose.
I agree.
My instinct tells me that they will attack
Yeah,
You
but
know
like
we'll
seeing
stand
ducks
fight
up
them.
there.
soon. I don't know why they would be waiting for us out there.
Well, they're not waiting for you to come to them.
We have elderly children in a
Does,
good spot for now.
does Loralee have a transportation circle in her temple at all? Are they connected to other cities or?
Good question.
Is there another city nearby who could send aid?
They
The-
will not come in time.
Yeah, no way.
The full allies,
Sun breaks on the third day.
which are
Look to the east.
the cities we trade with, they have all lost connection with us.
That's the
They
common
can't
thing there.
This is what they do. They
seem
surround
to
your city,
get
they
out.
isolate you, they kill you. They take your city and burn everything.
But how do you know they follow you outside of the city?
I am for
Because if
fighting.
they, according to what she said, they need the people.
No,
They are
I
the
said
fuel.
that they potentially could meet the people, but they need some type of material of some sort within the city because this is location. I do not know if it's in fact the actual people.
It's the
I thought didn't you say it was
location.
the people?
It's a location,
It's
no.
just a location.
And you see as
But we
Quintar
don't
kind of
know,
like,
it might be the
as
people
you guys
who
are
saw
having
it.
this discussion with each other, kind of like bickering back and forth about what to do, Quintar kind of gets a little flustered in the moment and gives the table a good hit.
Sorry for the camera.
We will stay and fight. I don't think the city would appreciate us leaving. And the citizens would never forgive me.
How does that dimension door work again?
I'm watching you two like a hawk.
Yeah.
I have
I
exit
telepathically
ready.
tell her how.
If we need to make a run for it, we can, but I'm not sure what's going to happen after that. If you guys can come up with a plan, maybe we can get the light to work for another day or two.
I think the idea is to get it to where it doesn't work.
We can defend. We will come up with a plan.
We at least have about, 20 hours
What time is it
to
right
prepare.
as you guys are having this discussion, you guys have met here. I'm going to say that you guys have spent about 2 to 3 hours in this facility, arguing back and forth with the different commanders.
So it's 8:45, so 3 hours.
It's close to midnight now.
It's close to midnight as you guys are having this argument. And as you guys are having this argument, in rushes in Lorelei, who says, Ninkado, the lights doesn't seem to be holding. We may have an emergency.
Thank you.
We're running out of time. And we will pick up there after the half. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Let's take a little bit of a pee, fill up our drinks, get through this kind of stressful moment. But yes, we will be
Cowards!
right back with more Witness Skills.
if we stay, they're definitely dead. At least if we stay,
We don't even know
at least
that.
if we stay, we kill at least a few of them. Bear in mind, we go down with a fight.
No!
Or
That does
The
not
potential-
align with my character. I'm
Doesn't
telling you
align.
right now. She's
the
not gonna
potential,
do it. She's
the
not gonna
potential
do
to
it.
kill Baphomet and halt forward progression.
And
She
we
does
are
not give a shit.
Yeah.
Just telling you
Divine
that.
twins do not care about that. Just putting that out there.
I quit this campaign. I'm leaving right now.
Welcome back to the Witness Guild, where this argument has been going on all half
Literally the whole time.
where they don't know what they want to do. So
No, I know what I want to do.
Where are we
Fucking
headed?
clear.
I know what I am doing.
you guys have
We're getting the
ended your
period.
battle with the enemy. You have watched that they are now building a essentially ring around the city with their troops. You guys are kind of uncertain of what's happening. You spent your couple hours of free time doing what you needed to do, whether it be reading, trying to find a weapon of yours, which you unsuccessfully found, Voltaire, or Budanic helping out the town and gaining a little recognition with that. You guys met up with the king, Quintar Folks, along with his commanders, one of the which you know as Nincardo. As you guys are kind of having an argument, kind of trying to figure out with the king, with all the 6 commanders and advisors he has, of what to do, whether you guys should flee the city, stay and fight, set a trap. You guys are kind of trying to figure out what to do at this time. Lorelei walked into the room during one of your arguments and let you know that she doesn't believe that the light looming tower is going to hold for 24 hours. She thinks it's going to be somewhere along the lines of 6 to 10 hours.
That's long enough for a long rest.
That's my thought exactly. I'm
No,
going
it's
to
not.
bed. I'm going to
10
bed.
hours?
Long rest is 8. Oh,
I'm going to
see,
bed.
he said 6.
6 to 10.
I'm
We take
sorry.
the gamble. We
I'm
take
going,
the gamble.
I'm going to bed.
We take the
As
gamble.
she says this in front of the table, you kind of start seeing the king get a little, along with the advisors and commanders, become a little more stressed about the situation and what to do. You guys, as you were arguing throughout the whole halftime of what to do next,
Not enough time.
do you have a closing remark you would like to give to the king, or like what do you guys would want to do?
I have closing remarks.
Go ahead, make your closing remark. Give him a time frame. Where's the hourglass?
Yeah, what happened to the hourglass?
Time
guys?
up.
Dude, I just found it. I lost it for the last couple weeks.
There you go. And
Are you
you're
gonna
starts now.
explain it to the camera real quick?
I can.
Yeah, explain it.
So this is our 1 minute hourglass that we made.
You mean
it
minute
looks-
glass?
Minute glass?
Yeah, mini glass, but it's an hourglass.
Minute glass.
It's a minute glass, but it's an hourglass.
Every minute that goes by on that thing is an hour in game. Fuck.
Damn.
So as we use this, the sand will go down for a full minute. It'll take a minute for it to empty. Once that occurs, if you guys have not come up with a decision, the DM will come up with a decision, a ruling. If it's in battle, the DM will figure out what happens, as opposed to you guys. I'm going to leave your closing remarks, Budanic, on me turning the hourglass
I think Budanic and Voltaire should have the same minute
/ minute glass.
since they're
My
together.
Make your closing arguments.
My liege, you have 6 hours to evacuate the entire city. And yes, run and you may live for a time. And on your deathbed, in your dying moment, surrounded by the ones that you love,
Or not.
would you give every day between that one and this for one chance, just one chance, to stand before our enemies and tell them that they may take our lives, but they may never take our pride?
And as you finish your closing remarks, you see a couple of the commanders begin pounding on the desk as you kind of end this remarks in agreement with you. Voltaire, is there anything you would like to say?
I believe that you fight until the last man. And I believe that this is bigger than just your city. I believe that this is a continent problem. And if we can stop it now, we can perhaps stop another city from being ravaged. If we just leave this one and go and try and protect another, there's going to be more death there. And I think we should try and stop it as soon as possible. And we have a weapon right now that we know is effective. Do the right thing.
Wow! Wow. Voltaire for president.
Do the Divine
Do the
Twins
right
or
thing.
Nazareth have anything
Go ahead,
to add?
You know all the research.
Boo!
Logically speaking, humanoids tend to lead with their hearts. So I commend you on all wanting to stay and fight. However, for civilization to move on and this plane not to be taken over by demons, it is safe for us to think logically. And vacating your people and having them live another day, building their civilization perhaps somewhere else. Yes, their pride may be hurt, but they'll still be with their loved ones and civilization may go on to where they can find more pride elsewhere. However, statistically looking at this city, we've lost the battle. We can now then describe and figure out how to move on from this and cut the head of the snake, which is Baphomet. That is all.
Is there a rebuttal?
Hey, you got your chance.
I would like to add a comment.
You said that as well.
Your table's
I
done.
was asking a question, that is all. Is there going to be, like, a rebuttal phase?
Oh my god.
Oh
no,
my
because
god.
we could do this
No.
all night.
Nazli.
No, Nazareth, do you have anything to add to this?
We have amassed a lot of knowledge with our experience encountering these creatures, and we have now passed some of that knowledge on to you. We've already agreed we do not have the resources or the manpower to take this on right now. We should take our experience, our knowledge, and make a more long-term plan moving forward. Our chances for success are very minimal right now, and if we die here today, we will not be able to share our experience and knowledge with others to prevent this from happening again.
Yeah, we barely even did anything, and he lost half his army.
We can make a plan with what we will know now. With more time.
Any last words, Emily?
Timer is for us, sir, not for you.
Yes. Voltaire.
Do you know of any other towns that maybe have, like, a magical tower in the center where you could cast a light into it and
Have you
then
seen this tower?
cause, like, this explosive damage of instant burning and...
Is there one of you that wants to go up and attempt to add more light to the tower?
I walk and I'm leaving and I'm going to do that.
I cast guidance on him as he goes.
Can you with your sword? Just.
Do you not remember what I did?
I'm so kidding. It was a joke. I was so kidding. It was a
You
joke.
will need
We
Lorelai.
really did.
You
With
will
your
essentially be spitting on the fire, Voltaire.
Nincardo, I would suggest you go find Lorelai, take them up. See what you can do. Whichever of you want to help can help.
We'll go. As well.
And it looks like we will be fighting for our city.
Good luck.
That was literally a dice.
No.
There you go.
2 of you said yes, 2 of you said no. I rolled the dice.
No,
Technically
three.
three.
Two.
Yeah,
3 to 2.
You got that wrong.
Yeah.
But she didn't say anything.
I'm
No, she
going to
didn't.
go ahead and say
She did.
one of the arguments was a little
I don't care about
less
this town, let's leave.
persuasive.
Ours was less persuasive? Are you kidding me?
Mine was a speech from Braveheart. So
I'm going to say
Plagiarism.
I changed the last
That's-
word.
Emberly seems to be
No.
on Willow's side, but for the sake of Willow, as opposed to
Piece of shit.
That's not true.
She literally just. Emily said, I don't want to be
She
here.
said before Willow did that she didn't want to do this. She was
She
the
did.
first one to say
That is
it.
an individual. She made no compelling arguments to the survival
as a
of the city.
DM, I gave you all an option to speak. 4 of you gave.
Does Emberly want to say anything?
Speeches.
No.
Emberly seems slightly questionable to the king.
That's questionable to me.
At that point, the king
Do you like some peanuts? I like
made a
peanuts.
decision.
So we get the cart ready, put the dead bodies in it, and
Yes.
You guys have
good luck.
fought at least one of these demons before, yes?
3 times.
And every time we fought, she ran away scared of us.
Still not dead.
That gives
What?
me
Still scared.
enough hope
Oh, look at that. What a wonderful opinion to have
for
when
our
you beat
next
someone.
battle.
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We will prepare everything we can.
You're actually
Just
not
like
scared.
in that first battle,
You're
she'll be
actually
driving
not
the
there.
cart away from us
Yeah.
while we fight.
We're heading to the tower with you.
I would suggest you all go speak with Lorelei, see what you need for the tower.
She's in the tower right now?
We will prepare our army, get them in a defensive position.
Sire, do you agree with the plan that we had mentioned? Fortifying area around the tower and localizing defense on the tower.
I'm going to let you guys in Encardo come up with a plan. I don't see where my... You're all that I can trust at this point.
I want to be clear here. Victory is defeating the army, not necessarily saving the town. That is how we need to view this.
Stopping the army. Preventing a forward progression of enemy forces.
Which is impossible.
They're just gonna come back bigger.
Which is impossible.
Not if
We
they
will-
don't kill people and take them with them.
We don't know that.
We will figure it out. We will devise a plan, and we will execute. For now,
There are
we need
6 commanders,
to
correct?
stabilize the light above. And if we need to turn it off,
You have
we need
6.
to make sure we can turn it back on.
Your Highness, 6 commanders, correct? That's your cohort here.
2 of these are my advisors, the other 4 are commanders, yes.
Perhaps 1 commander or 2 commanders at the aft gates where the breaches into the city have been made, and anyone else of any kind of formidable station or rank maintaining the front gate. Just a thought. It's likely that they'll attack from the same points again.
Budanic, I will give you Churgar and Zeltorium. They are 2 of our most honored commanders here at the table. They will follow your orders with the defense. The rest of you, I think you need to get with Encardo and figure out what you're doing up at the tower.
Are we all together right now?
I will have
The freaking tower of death.
Did Voltaire already run ahead?
Delphorus,
I will.
which is another.
Or are we still like bonded? It only lasts an hour, but I can cast it again. I'll cast it up. I just need 10 minutes to do it.
I will have Delphorus lead the protection of the citizens in the cave as they wait to see if they need to flee or not. We will keep that option available. As for now, it looks like you guys have something to do at the tower. And we will come back tomorrow morning if needed.
We're still alive by then.
8 hours from now.
6.
And they break away from the table. As they do so, Nick Carter takes the 4 of you upstairs, where you guys meet with Lorelei.
5?
I'm not going.
Oh, you're
He
not
is
going.
going. Budownik is going to be with the other commanders, and kind of figure out what the best form of defense is. So think about that while I talk to them. Think about what the best form of defense is for this town that has. It is essentially surrounded, minus maybe the west side where there's a 300-foot cliff. The east side of the city has kind of collapsed in. They're already kind of building a wall with the rubble. I'll let you kind of come up with a defensive plan, Budownik. The rest of you, up with Lorelei and Nincardo, you meet them up at the tower. Lorelei is, as you get up there, there's still a roaring energy up at the top of this tower that you guys can feel as it's literally creating wind that is pushing your guys' clothes around. Your hair is being blown
My
back.
hair's always blowing. There's been no difference here.
Before we start really engaging with them,
Yep.
Permanent value.
Yeah.
Nazlith would have grabbed Voltaire by the wrist and let's start talking to you. Voltaire, I'm not going to die here.
I would agree. I don't think I'm going to die here either.
No, I'm telling you, I will not stay here and die.
I don't think we're going to stay here and die either. I think we're going to stay here and we're going to win.
Have you ever died before, Voltaire?
No, I'm a very good hero. I've never died once, but I've come close.
That is why you have the perspective that you have. There is nothing on the other side of this. Are you prepared to face nothing?
How do you know there's nothing?
Because I've been there.
And what was it like? Nothingness?
It
How
was,
do you know your brain just didn't shut down for a minute?
It did not shut down, Voltaire. You know that. I was there long enough to experience it. I don't appreciate you belittling my experience.
I'm just saying that I think there might be
Balance
more to
down.
it than you quite realize at this point.
You have not experienced it and you would not know.
So you are so certain that this is going to fail and we're going to die.
I do not want to take that chance.
You do realize that anytime we ever go into battle, there has been a chance of you going to die.
We have had better odds than this.
You thought we had pretty good odds against the giant, the undead dragon.
That didn't have a large army at its feet.
It did
This
have an army
is
of...
vastly different. We are surrounded
Right.
with 2 demon lords.
What makes you think that we can get away by running?
We can strategize our way out. We can blast through the army. I feel like that's a better chance than trying to stay here and stay in one spot so they can take us out.
Blast through the army. Why didn't you do that yesterday?
Because we weren't trying to flee yesterday, but we have a better understanding of our situation today.
There is no other weapon or anything that we have ever come across that has done half the damage that this one has. This is our best chance.
We're all going to die here if we stay here and do this.
That is a possibility. It always
Yeah, it is killing them, but so you want to turn it off. You don't think they're gonna like realize what we're doing?
I
You
think
think
that
they're gonna stay out of the zone?
there's more to what I had in mind than you might think. I think we tried to trick them, and we tried to make them think that our light is burnt out and that we can't rekindle
How
it.
are we gonna do that from
I
a
think
mile away?
if we do it strategically, we can make it look like there is an explosion that damages
And
the
are
tower.
you willing to risk all of our lives for that? They barely pulled out of it
To
last
save the
time.
lives of other towns? Yes, absolutely. For any life, I would absolutely lay down my life.
I don't think we're going to achieve that if we stay here. I think they're going to take us out and they're still going to move on.
And then where would we go and how would we defend? How would we be better prepared next
We
time?
can take our knowledge and our experience and start
What does that do?
stockpiling like
Our
we
knowledge
did.
doesn't hurt them. Our experience doesn't hurt them.
It will if we come up with a plan with more time.
What plan?
We go to other cities.
And what? Build the same light tower?
No. Prepare.
We're not relying
Prepare
on
in
the
what
town.
way? What
I
do you
can
know
learn.
that does
I
damage?
can learn more suitable magic. We can stockpile
You are one
items.
person. You cannot take out an entire army.
I can.
This weapon
You
can
make
take
this-
out an
you can
entire
make the
army.
same argument here.
This weapon can take out an entire army. It took out half of one yesterday.
And guess
When
what?
we were
If they're not
unprepared,
smart enough,
flying by
if
the
there's-
seat of our pants.
They might be smart enough and just stay away
Then good.
after this goes away.
What is wrong with that?
They wait us out. I'm not that strong to
They're
keep this light
They're
going.
going to take this.
I disagree. If you feel the need to run away, I will not stop you. But it would make me sad to die without you by my side. But I cannot, in good conscience, leave people who I know need help, especially when I feel like I can help them.
Pull out the
And
heartstrings.
this is where you and I differ, Bultash.
I suppose that is true.
What is your plan?
We give this some juice. Hopefully, Lorelai, if we give this more juice, how much longer do we have versus your 6?
And you guys are kind of walking up the stairs at this point.
Is she ahead of us, or should I share screen?
She's slightly ahead of you guys, but
Okay.
she's with you guys enough to hear. She lets you know that we got by last time. Barely.
Oh yeah.
I want to let you know there are dangers in sacrificing your energy to this tower. It is a sacrifice.
Not very convincing, Lorelai.
Have you shaved years off of your life giving to this?
Not years. No.
What have you shaved off then? What have you sacrificed?
This tower is living. It is filled with the souls of past clerics who have used their energy to fill it, to protect others. You don't always come out as well as we did.
I mean, clearly I don't want to fight, but I also don't want to leave the double B's behind.
The what?
Double B's.
The double B's.
Devil bees?
Double
The
B's.
devil bees!
I still what?
Voltaire.
B's.
who-
Oh.
B
Oh, do we
squared.
gotta
I got it. B squared. Double B's. I got it. I was there.
I know you guys have
Oh,
your
the devil bees sounds good.
concerns.
Sting!
If we're no longer the 5 Hung guys, then we are the
Devil bees.
devil bees.
I know you guys don't necessarily agree with each other. However, if you are to stay with the king's orders to defend the city, if you were to leave, we would surely perish. I do not have the power myself to ignite this light and protect the city. And we would surely be fleeing.
I can light this thing myself. Don't worry, okay?
No,
No, you cannot.
I will
Stop
do
it.
it all, and I will save this
definitely
town. I promise you. I will do everything in my power.
I don't know what you guys need. If you need rest,
Do you have like a +2 glaive or something lying
we
around?
can take it while I keep watch.
I only need the 4 hours.
If you
so
guys
I-
don't want to help, I understand.
Well, it's not so much of not wanting to help. It's more of like dying.
Cowardice!
I'm sorry.
I apologize. I
We
have a
have-
little tickle in my dragon throat.
I'm sorry, Willow. You seem to know more about what is outside of our gates than anybody else here.
Yeah, with that knowledge
I
comes great
understand.
responsibility.
And that you don't want to fight here.
I think, based off the knowledge I know, that us fighting here is a losing battle. It just depends on how badly we're gonna lose. is the current standing. And now you're telling me that tower we're in is living with the souls of few past clerics. I got pretty damn near close to souling myself into this tower.
People who died to fight for this town.
This is not my home.
You dishonor them by treating it like some sort of negative thing. They died fighting for what they believed in. I will do the same.
I believe that's where we differ. This is not my hometown.
I will say
There's a
that it
bigger
is your
picture.
friend Budanik's town. His great-grandfather's soul is in this tower.
Oh,
He
Budanik, did you know this?
He's aware.
Alright, damn it.
he would be. There is a reason that Budanik seems to be so
Really trying to keep me here.
Alright, fuck.
so strong on fighting these demons. I would not ask you to follow him in.
How do you
That's-
know? At this point, all my face shit would have passed away again. How do you know that his grandfather is here? Because he claimed to not know the statue outside. Can
Well,
you
then-
enlighten us on what this situation?
He may or
entails?
may not know his past. That is on him. However, his grandfather, Eldonic, in 417, happened to use this tower in defense of the barbarians that were attacking the city. Surely the city would have been lost if it wasn't for his sacrifice to the tower.
So you're telling me that there is no other super special spirit tower in any other town?
So there's some sentimental value for Budanik carrying this out. I see.
I don't know what his intentions are, but I will say he seems awfully connected to this city.
I will add that I don't think Willow was trying to come off as insensitive. I think she is trying to see the bigger picture.
I understand. Your protection is number one. I get that.
Not so much of my own protection, more of the fact that, I mean, there's
I would
other
say
points.
this is
to
a
take care of.
city of 25,000. And
That's a big army for Demon Lords.
That you're saying you want to abandon and allow them
it
to
is
take.
very hard for all of them to flee.
They will not get away.
I would have to agree with Voltaire. I don't think, in my estimations, that they would all be able to leave. But the tower's here. If you guys would like, we can come up with a plan on when to turn it off and when to reactivate it.
Like I said, I think if we can make it to where it looks like it malfunctioned, they might drop their guard and flood the city.
The only way to do that is to stop the energy from entering the tower. That is going to take
You said it's running out, right?
a little bit of magic. In 6 hours, it's running out. If we want to wait to the point where it runs out, and then you guys want to
Reignite it.
ignite, that is something we can do. We will have to go through the whole process of releasing ourselves from this tower as well. And that can be quite strenuous.
If you want us to be of any help, I think we should rest for now.
Yes.
I think Willow and Emberly are very tapped at the moment.
If we go downstairs, there's places to rest. We can find areas in the common room.
But I need 8 hours and we have 6.
I need 4.
6 to 10. If there's any issues, I will come down and I will wake you up.
At this
Should
point,
I get a little
I would
extra?
Yeah,
turn
should
to you.
Add some to it? That,
Can I add
we,
some to
yeah,
it?
can we add it right now?
If
I
you
have a
add some
level-
to it, you will be connected and you will have to.
It seemed as though I had a little easier of a time pulling away, so allow me to be the one, and I will take the risk, and I will.
Are you saying you're better at pulling out?
I'm
Than the
stronger
girls.
at pulling out. My pull-out game, if
Is
you would,
strong.
is strong. Is how I would say that.
Voltaire,
Thanks, Budnik, for chiming in there.
You're welcome.
We are all telepathically connected.
Yes.
Didn't you say you redid
did it
the?
again.
Yeah.
And as
Right,
this is
well.
kind of occurring, I'm going to kind of split down to whatever Budaunik's doing with your commanders down there. What are you?
Churgar, Zaltoria, First off, excellent hobgoblin names. Your parents should be proud of themselves. Which of you has more experience with protecting from siege?
You see a Zeltorian kind of gives a nod.
Excellent. Zaltorian, you are probably going to be better suited to take the front gates. They have yet to be breached. However, I don't think that that's going to stay true for very long. I believe that as many archers as we can spare on the walls to pepper their forces as they approach and prevent any kind of mass infiltration in the immediate, as well as several units on the ground. Perhaps if there's time, we could, without taxing any of our people too extensively, create some sort of funnel system. Anything you can find, crates or barrels or carts or rubble, whatever's available, create a funnel system that runs straight to the heart of the tower. Just know that anyone that's on the parapets when the enemy breaks the line likely not going to survive.
He gives you a very somber nod.
Churgar, you're going to take the, correct me if I'm wrong, there was an eastern and a southern breach. Right? Okay. Churgar, to the east. Take the eastern breach. Same thing. We want a funnel. I want a phalanx of at least 50. Shield wall. Smack in the middle of the rubble runway. They will fight and hold a wall as long as they can, and as they retreat, there will be a point in time where the light from the tower goes out. At that point in time, fall back to the center of the tower, both of you, any forces that you can spare, any forces that can make it, get to the tower. We'll hold a shield wall.
We're telepathically connected, right?
I'm...
Only if he
yes.
sends it to you, though.
Are you... No?
I was not
Not at
going to
the
send
moment.
right now.
It has to be purposeful.
As soon as we get back to the tower, we hold position and we fight. And we fight. And we give everything to our city. Because if we don't do this today, we will never have another chance. Maglubiet will not tolerate us running away. And so here today, we sacrifice our lives in the hopes that our generations following will have a better and more prosperous future and plenty of fucking bragging rights about how we saved the whole goddamn planet.
And you watch as Klorgar and Zeltorian kind of like slap one arm together like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, like hand clap. In both of them with their other arms kind of reach out to you.
I will
as
awkwardly
you,
cross.
You kind of cross your arms with them and shake both of their arms out, and you guys are kind of in an agreement, and you do a nice little hobgoblin like with each other in release, and they go about rallying up their troops for what they need to accomplish. While this is occurring, you guys are still up in the tower kind of having your talk on what is going to occur. And then,
You're gonna make Debbie tired.
I know, right? I know, I yawned first, weird.
Debbie yawned like an hour ago.
Well,
She's got a blanket on.
I
She's
napped during the
sewing.
halftime.
true. Everyone else argued.
She's 3D printing a human though, so
And you guys, and as you guys are kind of debating on what to do up into the tower, is there anything else you wanted to go over?
Nothing else. Let's just get this.
does our
done.
telepathic mind
with
link work?
Lorelai? If you,
What?
I would purposely be trying to
It
connect.
depends. That's a spell that was used by Nazlith to connect you all.
Right.
So
Yeah,
at the moment,
it works.
no. It's been about it's only an hour long, right?
She cast it
Has he
again.
been gone since for an
She
hour?
cast it when we left for the
If
tower.
you cast it right when you left for the tower, you'd still have it on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I said I recast it again.
Yeah.
I would like to begrudgingly ask Lorelei if Lorelei, whatever.
It ends with an I. Come
Whatever.
on.
Yeah.
I
Ends
would
with an
ask
I.
Lorelei if the one radiant
Two
spell I
eyes.
do know right now would work. I have sickening radiance, but it's technically radiant damage, but it's like a green light.
Did you put more juice into it?
You would get the gist that
was
you
about to.
probably need to practice this a little more.
No,
before you-
not the one you gave me,
Oh,
the one I've
okay,
had.
okay.
She had.
Yeah.
What spell is it?
I'll read it off to you. It's sickening radiance. Dim greenish light spreads within a 30-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within range. The light spreads around corners and it lasts until the spell ends. When a creature moves into the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, that creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 4d10 radiant damage, suffer 1 level of exhaustion, and emit a dim greenish light in a 5-foot radius. This light makes it impossible for the creature to benefit from being invisible. The light and any levels of exhaustion caused by the spell go away when the spell ends. This is what I used when that thing tried to possess me, essentially.
And Lorelei let you know,
Lorelei.
it could be of some help, yes. No promises on how well it works with us, but I think you could add something. Just be aware of the dangers you are coming upon connecting to this tower.
I will hold back, and if I notice you guys struggling, I will contribute.
I'm going to take a second and I'm going to pull off my glaive from my shoulder and I'm going to start.
You don't have a glaive.
I did.
He got
You
the one
found
from
one.
the.
Yeah.
A
Oh, you
cheap,
found
a
one?
cheap
Yeah.
one.
Oh.
Cheap glaive.
And I'm going to start spinning it around and practicing, getting acquainted with its weight and the balance.
Just walk up and crowd it.
And then I'm going to say, okay, I'm ready. And I slam it on the ground and I cast Blinding Smite.
Before you say this out loud, are you guys going to go take a rest before
I think
this?
we were.
We're giving a little more
I'm going to
juice
give it more
to,
juice
like,
so it'll
At least
last.
8 hours.
So
It
at
would
least
be-
that you guys would be stuck.
Who's
in
all
it.
being who all is giving it more juice?
Just me.
Not me.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I don't think you need to do that.
Do we? I mean, we need to do it more than 8 hours.
We
right?
only need to boost it another 2 hours
It's
to get
somewhere
us
in
the 8
between
hours.
6 to 10 hours. You guys are not sure how
We
long
need to
it
get to
will
the 8
last.
to 12 range.
Yeah.
If you would like to boost it, you both can do so.
I
don't.
touch.
Do I need her?
You don't know.
Just
Yeah.
look. You sit back for a moment. Let's see what happens.
I touch Emberly and I say, follow the winds and give her guidance.
I will try
Okay.
first, and if it looks like it's not making any difference, then you come in. Okay?
Okay.
It is a little easier for me to break the connection. Is all I'm saying. So we don't want to hurt you if we don't have to.
Oh. I actually give her
So I'm gonna tap my glaive on the ground. It's going to light up with a radiant light, and I'm going to
Okay.
thrust it into the.
You thrust
Yeah.
that shit.
And you cast the radiant light on it. And
Concentrate
as you
for
put it
a
up
minute.
towards the mirror, you notice that it begins to pulse towards the mirror. You're watching energy come off of it and hit the. And when I say mirror, it's almost like a disco ball of mirrors, except like inverted, where it's round, and it seems to be just like shining across.
And as I do this, I'm going to say a short little prayer on my breath. Family of Budanik, please help me here. Yeah. And then do it.
Roll an attack roll.
It's cocked. It was a 10, but it was cocked, so I re-rolled it, and I got a nat 1.
Roll,
Oh my god!
Yeah.
roll a strength check for me
Yes.
at disadvantage. That's what you're nat
At
one
disadvantage?
becomes, yeah.
Okay, well, 7.
That's what I keep fucking saying.
Yep.
No one believes this bitch.
Plus.
We're all gonna
You
die.
got the world's worst nat one roller over here.
And he wants to
I
stay
feel
and
out
fight.
10.
easier than you.
As you tap your glaive on the ground, you put it up. It begins to shine with radiant light. You put it up. You notice that light seems to absorb and take, but the power of the light that's already there, mixed with your glaive and the light coming off your glaive. With the glaive in hand, as you hold it up, it shatters almost instantly
Well,
into pieces on
You
the
weren't
ground.
meant to have a
You
glaive.
don't seem to be able to add anything currently.
Alright, I'll
With that.
try.
you get a D4 added to your
Okay.
Well, that was awkward. I swear that never happens to me.
I'm gonna do it at level 6.
Okay?
What do I have to do?
You have to
You're casting your guiding.
Guiding bolt. But it's not an attack.
It's an attack roll. She has to attack for it. You have to get +8 to it.
That I don't need. With the guiding bolt,
Yeah, I
you
don't think I had to attack.
You don't. I'm
Last
not going
time
to
we
have you
didn't have
attack
to.
with the guiding bolt.
Yeah.
As you cast your guiding bolt, because this is going to be a little different than using an
At
inanimate
level
object.
6.
As you cast your guiding bolt at level 6, you feel a connection with the reflectors that are causing this light to glow about the city. You all watch as a red energy hits this reflector. It actually seems to produce more energy at this time. I need you to roll a d20 for me.
Then roll a D4 with it too.
Is it a saving throw?
This is going to be just a random d20 for me. And you know what you get.
19, 21.
Your spell takes. You have released the energy needed to provide
Yes.
this some more time. However, now you need to release yourself from this tower. You
I'm
get a
gonna
couple
touch her
tries depending on how good or bad you do.
Say follow the winds. Make it easy to
I
get.
need you to roll a strength check to release yourself from the magical connection you have with this tower.
Is it,
7.
is it a saving throw?
It won't do it.
They're
No,
just
11.
checks.
Alright.
Yeah, that's a 9.
You said
Oh, I
7?
thought it was a 2. What the hell?
11. Or
Yeah.
whatever else is on there. So that's
14. So that
14.
misses.
14 plus.
Plus 3. Is it a save throw? Last time you said it was a save throw.
Yeah, you did.
It is a safe throw. I will tell you that the tower rolled a nat 20. Please give me what you got.
17, right?
17 plus my 3, so.
No, that's
Yeah,
the
that's
17.
what the 7.
17
That's
first.
Not 20.
Alright. Wait.
Yeah, what are you doing? He's rolling damage right
Oh, right.
We're gonna roll.
This is how W leaves the tent.
We're gonna roll a situation roll to figure out how the tower is taking this, and then we will proceed as we need.
now. I touch her back. Wait, I gave you death word before a battle started.
As you are,
How many hours has it been since the battle started, Chris?
24.
Hasn't been 24.
it hasn't been
Oh, I
24.
thought-
It's
I thought
been
that's where it only lasted
about
8 hours.
It lasts 8 hours.
Yeah, how long was the battle?
You're probably
Well, we
right
spent 3
on that.
hours waiting and then 3 hours.
Here's
in
what I'm going. Yes, and there's some time in between and some things you're doing. Roll a d20 for me, Zoe. 8 and under, it's been 8 hours. 9 and higher, it's been enough time for you guys to.
That's 2.
So you're just you've just exited that time frame. Put it that way.
Quit making us roll for shit. God, it's not fair.
Sorry.
Can
Welcome
I
to
touch her back? Can I
D&D.
do it again?
Chris, I eat a hot dog. Do I
Not
have
at
to
the
roll for a
moment.
Constitution save?
This is already happening. What's happening to Willow? Willow, I need you to roll.
Willow?
Emberly.
Sorry, Emberly, I need you to roll 2 more strength checks for me.
Can I just roll one
Just
at the
back to
same time?
back.
Strength saves.
Strength saves.
So plus 3
We'll
on
just-
those.
Well, because I'm standing behind her, like giving her the guidance or anything like
That's
that.
my mini.
I think technically they're. We'll go with saves. I'm not gonna.
That'd be a lot of retconning.
I'm gonna trust you guys on what I said. I don't remember if I said save or not.
Oh, yeah, 19
Yeah.
plus 3 plus 3.
What's your other one?
Ability check or
11.
resistance?
Plus
13,
6.
Flesh then? I think it was flesh.
18?
So 18 and 23?
Yeah.
No, 18 and more.
No, 18 and 23, she
Yeah.
said. What, Chris?
Seriously.
So with my 2 rolls for the tower.
Oh, you got
18
2
and
nat 20s.
25.
18 and 25.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, it's less than.
With my 2 rolls for the tower. One of them is an 18.
Yeah, come on. Meter beat.
25 is
You
going
rolled
to.
25 too?
No, that's what your
Oh.
your 25 will beat that. The other one I rolled was a 19, which unfortunately your 18 is not going to be.
I hate this city.
As you cast,
this city. Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
as you cast your roll a d100 for me real quick. As you cast your energy into this light, you all standing around her, minus Budownik, are watching Emberly
Tasty, right?
energetically connect from her fingertips
2 fails at once.
to this reflection.
68.
Am I able to cast a spell, like hold her, if she's focused on it, and like just hug her?
At this point in time, you are watching that the energy through her, she begins to glow brighter and brighter and brighter in the red that you are very, very familiar with. There's a certain point in time where this goes by for a couple minutes as she is like almost stuck there, and you guys are watching her fight to try to get off. Towards the end of it,
Stand there and do anything.
Nicardo and Lorelei begin having some rather stressful looks on her face. You watch as Lorelei goes over there and tries to touch her. Her energy is too strong. As soon as Lorelei lays hands on her, it's almost like it's
Can I
too
try?
much. You can go ahead and try. Give me a.
It's like the Avatar
Because
state.
I'm
Give
like,
me-
I'm not touching
what
she's
you're
my
in right now.
sister.
Give me a
I'm trying to
strength
help
check
her.
as you go over and hold her.
All of the hobgoblins.
You're at a certain point where as you go up to hold her, you are watching tears run down Emberly's face as
Lot of
she is
tears.
now
Fire
connected
tears,
to
hot
this
tears.
Do you want to know? I wonder
to
if
this
it's not-
light. What did you roll?
I rolled an 8.
The
Just
dice are
trying to
not with
touch
us.
you, man.
No, they're not with us tonight.
See, we're gonna fucking die, guys.
You watch
Hate
as
this fucking city.
We could
As
die walking down the
Emberly,
street if we kept
within
rolling
a
that
matter
one.
of 4 or
really?
5
No.
seconds. You watch
Chris will
as
find a way.
Emberly gets brighter, brighter. She eventually becomes a very bright, almost the
Superhero,
color of
dude.
the drink in front of you, red. It's just vibrant. And all of a sudden, it begins to dissipate. And you watch from her feet to her
She dies,
knees,
I'm out of
to her hips, as the light begins to dissipate and fade to darkness. And it climbs up her body, through her hips, up her chest, down through her head, and up her hand and into her fingertips. You watch the last bit of red energy leave her fingertips, hit the reflector above her, and a large pulse goes off in the city. And as you look at your sister, Emberly,
Willow? Oh, never mind.
as you look at Emberly,
Sorry.
Your sister,
The
Emberly.
pause there, yeah, I was
you
confused.
see a bright red statue.
Okay, was that her soul?
Oh!
No, hold on. Was that her soul leaving? Was that her soul leaving?
Fuck off.
Wait, hold on. Did you need to know my 100?
Because if that's her
You
soul
told me you're on
leaving,
the roll.
What
if
did I
that's her
say?
soul leaving, I would have
68.
cast soul
Oh, you
collecting, the homebrew spell you gave me that I learned.
Roll an Arcana check for me.
I'm not kidding. I'm out of here. I'm done. Good day. I'm over it.
This is our first real party show, guys.
24.
Oh, what?
With a 24, as you kind of are watching the energy come out of Emberly,
Bullshit.
I was just trying to charge this thing a little.
you see as about the point as it hits her face, in the expression that she has on her face, something along the lines of something that you have seen in your past, Nazlith, where you have watched as someone who raises the dead, you are keenly focused on when somebody dies. When somebody dies, there's almost an expression along their face where you see the soul exit. You catch a very quick glimpse of this. As you do so, I need you to roll. at disadvantage for me a D20 to see if you can catch this soul or not. We're gonna go.
Just roll for that!
You roll for an Arcana/Intelligence check to figure out what is occurring in this situation. I need you to roll at disadvantage, whether or not you have the quickness, because this is less than a 6-second period that is happening in front of you. Therefore, I'm not going to give you a full turn. I need you to see if you can catch this soul as it is coming out of her body, in entering this light.
Willow, you want to cast guidance on me here?
I will say that no, you cannot.
I mean, am I able to fucking bless her? I don't have enough
You are
fucking
not. There's
time.
not enough time. I will say that
Fucking
you
bullshit.
happen to know that if
Oh, you don't understand.
that Nazlith in this moment, based on what is happening, and based on that roll being above 20, you would happen to know that if her soul reaches this light, there's more time. If not, there's a chance this light shuts off right now.
I have a question. You told me to roll at disadvantage. Can I apply my last lucky slot to cancel out the disadvantage? Just to roll straight.
I will let you use that lucky slot on one of the 2 disadvantage rolls if you need.
Wait, what do you mean?
Which means if you roll, you get a 1 or
Okay.
something like that. And you want to use a lucky for that roll,
Oh, okay,
you
sure.
can.
Okay, sure.
However, I'm still going to make you roll the next roll
Okay.
for that disadvantage.
But I can choose which one I use the lucky.
Correct.
Okay, guys.
And I'm going to roll behind my desk to let you to figure out what you need to pass.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
what?
You added that?
What was that
Oh.
pause?
Okay, that's not one, so I'm using my lucky.
Oh!
11. 10. 10.
Yeesh. That's not good.
That's not
Depends on
good.
what he rolled. 10.
In Nazlith, as you begin to watch what is happening around you, Budownik, you're not really here. The other 2 of you mixed with Lorelei and Ricardo, as you guys are watching,
It's Lorelei at this point.
as you guys are watching
Bitch.
Emberly turn from a statue from her feet up, it's happening so quickly, you don't really know what to do. You watch as Nazlith, in the moment of panic, uses a spell to try and capture something. You see as she pulls out her, out of everyone in Voltaire would know exactly what she's pulling out. As she goes to capture this spell, as she holds it up, she whispers her words. You see a light occur inside of this cage. As the light occurs, there's a moment where the light begins to push towards the flame that is coming out of her fingertips. And as it does, you watch as your green flame begins to grasp around the very last little bits of flame that are coming out of her fingertips. At the very last second, it looks like it is about to pull it down, and it begins pulling it down. But there's a moment where the flame is just too much. You miss that, just barely. And you all are staring at an Emberly statue at the top of this.
But I didn't turn into dust.
You are now a stone figure at the top of this tower in one of the 3 windows.
Your soul left your body and left a statue in its place.
Yeah, but why didn't I turn to dust like everybody
Does she look
else?
like similar statue to Budownik's grandfather?
I hate you all.
You would get the,
Can you use your divine stuff?
in this moment of kind of panic, you would kind of look at her as you all go to like touch her. Cold, hard as a rock. She has, you would notice that the light above you guys has begun shining brighter. Budownik from the ground, not
So at
really
least
knowing
I
what's
did it,
happening.
guys.
As you are kind of directing your armies
Guys, gonna go to
here
bed.
and there, you would know that there is now a brighter, more red light
Okay,
shining
the-
upon this city.
The kid that's like turning up and looking at it, and I'll put my hand on his shoulder and be like, "So right, lad, they know what they're doing. Back to work."
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try and cleansing touch her.
If he comes near her, Willow's gonna start like freaking out.
Wait, hold
She's
on.
gonna create like a gust
So
of
can we
wind
talk
around
about why I
Emberly.
didn't turn into dust like everybody else?
You're
did
dead.
that
I know.
It's a
I think it's
different
because
effect.
I think it's because your soul, because the tower is taking up.
You weren't killed by
Oh,
radiant damage.
the tower ate me.
Yeah.
Oh.
The tower ate me. The files
Willow
are
is going
inside
to go
the
into a
computer.
state of manicness, and create with her wind just around her and Emberly, and she's going to tap into her fucking what's it called, telepathic, and based off of what we talked about before, with the fact that we're twins, you mentioned that if I can sense if she's on the same plane of existence.
Yeah.
And I can sense her if
Yeah.
we're not in the same place.
Yeah.
If she's on the same plane of existence, then I can talk to her. But if she's not, then I can tell that she's like dead.
As we do this,
But if I'm
scene,
somewhere else, she can tell that I'm alive and well.
I can tell if she's
Somewhere
dead.
else.
Voltaire and Nazlith, while I describe this, I would like you guys to think about what you guys, as characters, are thinking in this moment. As you are watching,
Manic sister.
in a very manic state, as you guys kind of like see her turn to stone, you see Nazlith attempt to do something and fail. In Nazlith, I imagine there's a range of emotions going on in your face. You would see as Willow begins to really panic and start casting this wind around her and her sister. Within this wind, they seem to disappear in this like little tiny column of wind as she's stirring it around her. As you call out to your sister and you try to reach, I need you to roll a persuasion check
What?
for me.
This is just something we have.
Someone choking down.
Yeah, like it's just
Oh,
something that we have together.
We're sneezing.
Oh, I'm aware.
Dude, I can see this fucking scene.
Oh.
Like Atlantis, the Lost Empire, when
Oh, where she's all
Kadash is like fucking like
Yeah.
womp.
Yeah.
And like I just see Willow just like
Up with the stones.
when there's like a statue in front of her and like nobody can get through this whirlwind of shit. Oh my
18.
God.
You reach out. What do you say to your sister?
Emberly, where are you? Emberly, where are you?
As you say, Emberly, where are you? You get a response. However, it's not the voice you were hoping for.
This fucking city. We could have just fucking left.
Of course.
But you hear a voice come out. She's safe with me, Lassie.
Your fucking grandpa.
Your fucking grandpa.
Who are you? Where is my sister?
And in this moment of panic, as you kind of attempt to reach out to your sister, you just keep hearing a voice in your head come back to you. She will be okay with me.
I want her back.
And you just continue hearing it. She will be okay with me.
Bring her back or I will destroy this tower.
She will be okay with me. And as you are kind of fighting in there, in your little whirlwind,
You're gonna get mega hernia.
Dude, I'm straight up having
So much anxiety over
just
here.
breaking
So
down
much
in
anxiety.
tears for your sister at this moment in time.
I'm
You're
not
watching
screaming.
that she is solid, with the exception of the bracers on her arms.
Do I sense
Oh.
that she is dead? Is she dead?
Yeah, she's
Or is she
supposed
mostly
to know
dead?
Because
that.
I'm able to sense if each other are
mostly
still
dead.
present.
To blame.
To
It
blame.
is a feeling that you have never felt before. It is almost an in-between. It is almost that she's there,
Is it like an upside down? Is the
but it's
Demogorgon
not. But it's not your sister communicating with you. She now no longer has control of what to say to you and what not to say to you. She
So she's not on this plane of existence, because if she was on this plane of existence, we'd be able to talk to each other.
You get the sense that she is still on this plane, but you cannot. She is no longer she.
She's with Awa.
She is they.
Nazlith would stride over to Lorelei, grab her, and ask, how can we access these souls in this tower?
And as you kind of do that, and all this chaos is ensuing at the top of this tower, Lorelei looks at you, Nazlith, as you kind of bring her this question. The Temple of Loparadi is the only thing I know to bring her to. Outside of that, she's gone.
What do you mean? Explain.
I'm in a whirlwind of...
Loparadi, and she kind of points down against the back wall of the city from where you guys are at. There is a large temple. It is in the shape of a pyramid, but it looks like the bottom of the pyramid has been gutted from about 30 feet down from the top of the pyramid, and it is now on like stilts at that point. So it's essentially a pyramid that seems to be on like 30-foot stilts. Loparedi is the only thing that can save her now, and that's not even a guarantee. I don't know what to do.
Explain, what do you mean can save her? What do you mean?
Loparedi is the temple of clerics and monks. There might be a ritual somebody there might know how to do. I don't know. I think she's with the temple now.
Hold that thought. I go over next to the statue and...
I'm still doing wind around me. And
telepathically, I'm going to try and reach out to Willow. I'm going to say, Willow, we have a slim chance of getting your sister back. I need you to calm down. Please calm down so we can work through this. And
Have you ever told that to a woman in rage?
I'm telling her there might be a chance.
I'm willing to bet no matter what the fuck you say before that, as soon as you say, just calm down, it's a bad fucking idea.
Well, I'm another woman saying it. So, anyways, while she's doing this, I'm going to...
spiral and death symbols.
While she's doing this, I'm going to ritual cast floating disc. It's going to take me 10 minutes, but it's going to be in the temple. A floating disc is going to come up, and I'm going to grab Voltaire, and I'm going to say, help me put Emberly's statue on this disc right now.
And
my wind is still going at the moment.
Yeah.
Promise me that you can bring her back. If not, I will burn down this tower.
Willow, we're going to try. And will you let us put the statue on the floating disc?
That's cool. Let's see.
That's why I got it for shit like this. I was like, shit, we can't carry. I need something. I'm not very strong.
Willow's in a manic state. She called her sisters.
But if I'm telling you there's a chance, I'm saying
you're saying there's a chance. Fine.
You're saying there's a chance.
I'll bring down the wind.
Okay.
Yes, and
you are not touching my sister.
You managed to bring
I'm not strong enough
down the winds. Willow manages to kind of gather things enough to just have a connection with you, Nazlith, for this split second of trust, where she begins to bring down the winds around her sister. You bring up your disc.
Mm-hmm. Lorelei, please take us to the temple.
Lorelei!
Whatever.
I will do the best I can.
Hey, what's up, man?
He called hashtag. I can call her Lorelei.
I was unintelligent. That was the point.
Anyways.
I can't promise any success, but we will try our best.
We need to try.
Do what we need. Let's get to down there.
Okay. The floating disc will follow behind me by 20 feet.
I'll make over to try and lift.
Definitely. You put Emberly fairly easily on this floating
it
disc.
floats down.
It holds up to 500 pounds, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's less than that?
Yeah.
She is less than that. The five of you guys, meaning
I'm
Willow,
very
Nazlith,
close to
Voltaire,
Lorelei.
Lorelei,
Lorelei.
Wow!
and
Devin just rolled in that one on intelligence.
Accept that.
Nincardo,
She rolled an
Lorelei,
echo on intelligence.
Voltaire, Willow and Nazlith, you all managed to get Emberly up on this floating disc.
While we're moving down, I want to telepathically connect to Budownik and tell him to meet us at
What is the range of your...
Oh, there's no limits.
Okay.
There's no limits.
And then you are able to do that, and you can tell him to meet at...
Budownik, we need to meet at the temple. Something is wrong with Emberly.
Fuck this town.
No one wanted to fucking leave this fucking city, and now my sister is at the expense of your downfall!
My fault? How is it my fault?
Voltaire's downfall!
Hey, I'll meet you there.
B squared is to blame!
You guys make it down after a long 10-minute walk to the temple. When you reach the temple, entering this temple, it is beautiful. There are two figures that you guys don't recognize as statues as you walk in. They are solid gold. The temple, you guys are walking underneath this pyramid structure that happens to be on these beautiful white marble stilts. As you guys enter underneath of it, there's a staircase underneath that goes up and into the pyramid. That is where Lorelei takes you guys. As you guys enter this temple, once you get to the inside of this pyramid, as you kind of look around, it almost looks like you're in nature. You are looking around from inside of here, and you are now in a forest.
You know who would like this temple? Emberly.
Emberly, like...
Lorelei. Voltaire, I'm assuming that you see as you kind of meet up, Budownik, as you kind of meet up with the rest of the group, and I would say that you start watching them kind of march up, and you march up with them, and by the time you meet them, you guys are kind of already climbing up into the temple when you notice that Emberly is on a disc as a statue.
I won't say anything.
As you follow the rest of the group, you would notice that there are some tears in some eyes. All of them look rather concerned, at the very least, but there are some tears in some eyes. You guys enter the temple. Again, looks like a forest from the inside of this pyramid. In the back of what would be the back side of this pyramid, there is what would appear to be the face of a temple. It's a large stone opening. It's kind of hard to tell as you kind of like look up the wall, where the wall starts, where the wall ends as far as like nature goes. You can tell that there's walls somewhere behind the overgrowth. As you guys enter this temple, there is a large river that runs through the center of this temple. As you kind of are looking around, there's only a handful of people in here, maybe 4 or 5. And they seem to be almost directly split in half of like clerics and monks. They're all wearing a very humble looking garb. It's essentially a robe that is brown, very plain. It's hard to tell what it's made out of. Some type of cloth though, but it's very simple in its style. Lorelei takes you guys to one of the ponds that is up against the river. She explains to you that this is a healing pond for the clerics, and that this is how they, the clerics heal things that are in dire need and things that are of emergencies, the rarest of rare things. She lays Emberly into this
With assistance, I'm
tub of water with assistance of Voltaire and the disc and the rest of you guys. She lets you guys know, we must get her in this pond. I have one thing to try, and if not, I don't know what else to do.
What can we do to assist you?
Just please, if we could all hold hands, and I will touch a head. And she begins holding hands with you all, and you guys make a ring around this pond. I need each one of you to roll a d20 for me, minus Emberly. And I will tell you, I already rolled Lorelei's d20.
It would be bad if I rolled in that one, right?
Voltaire, what'd you get?
13.
6.
1.
Oh!
Oh.
She rolled a 7.
I don't know what that is.
Oh God!
That's
The
three
rolls are
failures.
so
At
bad!
minimum,
Yeah, the
that's
rolls are
3
really bad
failures.
today.
Oh God!
As you all place
Zoe's eyes about to pop
The-
out.
I'm about to lose my
the
shit.
stone form of Emberly into this pond, you guys are in a very hectic moment of like, we have to save her. There's a moment where
You're all just shocked.
Lorelei
Shit.
begins taking this golden trowel, filling it up with water, pouring it over Emberly's head, combing back Emberly's hair.
I'm a stone.
You are stoned.
So her hair is-
she's rubbing. I said that a little.
rubbing
wrong. She's
over it.
rubbing your stone hair as she's pouring the water on you. Just trying to get it. She's trying to cover you with the water, essentially. As she begins to say her blessing, and you all begin to hold hands around, you guys will watch as the water, without getting hot, begins to boil. And it begins to turn a color of bluish green, and there's kind of almost a tie-dye effect to this water temporarily. And as it begins to settle from its boil into some still water, it becomes clear again. You guys can see Emberly in the water. And you kind of look up at Lorelei. It's not taking.
Let's try it again.
There is no again for this.
We will try again.
There is no again.
There's no again. I'm destroying that tower and we will all die.
I will very gently and carefully make my way over to Willow and slowly,
If
without doing anything too
coming
quickly,
towards me.
and bring her into a hug.
Nope. Wind tunnel around my body and anger, hair flaming up.
And as you guys begin to do this, Lorelei just has tears in her eyes for you at this point, seeing the emotions that are happening. And Nicardo,
The aggressive pen clicking. Holy shit.
Nicardo is in the room as well.
Why was he not helping?
Yeah, did he roll one? Maybe it was an at 20. Maybe it would have helped.
Nicardo,
Roll one for Nicardo!
No, he's gonna roll a 1. or
Nicardo,
something.
who is a monk of this temple, I might have one other thing we can do.
We will try whatever you want.
I
I'll bring
don't
down my
know
wind.
how much you will like it, but
Imagine you bring it down just over your eyes so you can just kind of peek
It's
over.
Continue.
bring her this way. And as you guys help lift her out of this pool of water,
My disc would still be there, so if I need to transfer.
and the disc is going to need to transport. You load her up on the disc. You guys walk across to the other side of the temple where there are what look like graves.
Not okay with this.
I'm
Hold-
going to
hold
need
on.
you to trust me. We need to put her in one and bury her.
I'm sorry, you want to bury my
Willow.
sister?
I
Willow.
hate this idea.
If you want to save her,
We have no other options.
She's not dead.
Willow.
if you want to save her, we have to bury her.
Yes.
How deep? Can she tunnel out?
She can't hold it down, definitely.
If you,
She's not like me.
She can't breathe underwater.
she will not be returning to this body if she returns.
Where is she returning to?
I don't know yet. We need to figure that out.
Willow. Bringing her back in one form is better than no form at all.
It is if she turns into a slug.
This is our last hope.
I'm like,
Slug.
We need to try this.
She could be on your shoulder. It would be adorable.
You don't talk to me, B1. I'm on thin ice with you, B2.
Go ahead.
I'm older.
I literally told her not to do it.
What do you need from us?
No, I think this is a horrible decision.
it work.
I still told you.
I think we need to do this.
You want to put my sister in a different body that we don't even know is gonna work?
Do you want to lose her forever?
No.
Then we need to do this.
This is your last hope. I don't know any other way.
If she goes back as a slug, I'm gonna kill you all.
Please do it.
And you guys begin to help
Remember POA? I should make
put
decisions.
Emberly.
You're emotional.
You begin to help put Emberly's hardened cement body into the hole with Nincardo. As you do, Nincardo.
I'm gonna. You know what? Put me in the grave with her. I'm holding my breath. I'm holding on to her in the grave.
We have to
Bury
go.
me.
I cannot.
Willow,
That
I
is
don't-
not how this works.
It's
I
gonna
need
work
you-
this way.
Willow,
We need your energy up here.
My energy could be right here next to my sister.
Willow, I don't think she'll be.
Willow, I understand that you are going through a hard time right now, but if you want to save your sister, you have to help us.
You have no idea.
I have an idea.
Willow, please.
I don't get out of the hole.
And as you climb out of the hole,
Sweating so much.
Nincardo hands you.
So 3 times I did one fish.
This is what
Nincardo
Brendan has to look forward to if he ever dies.
Get over
hands you
it.
right. Nincardo hands you a shovel
Oh, fuck off.
and begins shoveling dirt onto
I won't do it.
I will assist.
I will help.
Emberly. And as you guys assist, it takes you guys 10 minutes, but you manage to cover Emberly completely to ground level. There's a moment where Nincardo sits on the top of the grave and begins saying a prayer. I need you all to roll d20.
No! Damn it! Don't ask us to do that.
Maybe?
That one, dude. That one, right? Yeah. That one, king. That one, king.
That one.
15.
16.
10.
I'm going to let you know the save is 13. I rolled a nat 1.
I swear to God, if she comes out
I'm gonna have
as
a
a
heart attack
fucking
because
slug.
of this fucking episode.
As Nincardo is sitting there on top of what now is essentially Emberly's grave, with Emberly as a hard cast underneath this dirt. She's probably about 4 or 5 feet down. There is a wind that hits the inside of this pyramid, and as you all are starting to feel the wind hit your backs, as it begins to swirl around you, as you begin to see Nincardo glow of energy in the middle of you, as you begin to try to raise Emberly in some way, shape, or form. We're gonna end tonight's episode
Are you
there.
fucking kidding me?
This is fucking horseshit.
We will pick up next
Chris,
time.
15 minutes left. No.
We will
keep
pick up
going.
next time in this awesome story.
Debbie wants to know if she gets to take a nap.
Yeah! She needs to know she's gonna be here next round.
Debbie
You got
ain't gonna
15
know.
You gonna
minutes.
make her make a new character next week?
Debbie ain't gonna know. But as you guys sit there and try to save Emberly, who sacrificed her life to save this city,
The city I didn't want to
We
say.
didn't want
a
to be
city
in.
that she didn't care to really save, but did save. We will end
Oh, she
our
did, did she?
episode.
Wait, so we won? All right, great. So we did it.
Game
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
This campaign coming next week.
We will end our episode there. You guys have a little more light on the city, a little more time to buy.
Not worth
As
it.
soon as Emberly is back,
You
I'm
are-
getting in that wagon. We are leaving back to our homeland. Fuck all of this.
Down in Emberly, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
out of all the people, the consequences of that in the situation you are in. We'll pick up next time there on the Witness Guild, episode 11. Episode 10 was intense. Lots of fun stories. Sorry for no fighting, guys, but I feel like we got the juices going.
You only made us roll like like shit constantly.
Yeah,
Oh my
what the fuck is
God.
that about?
I rolled a nat 1.
That's bullshit.
Oh.
Because you rolled with the enemy.
With the chop.
Yeah, you roll with the
20.
fungal dice? What's
That's
wrong with you?
bullshit. I told you it doesn't roll in our favor. No.
That was 2 nat 1s with that dice. Yeah, we'll pick up there. We'll see the fate of Emberly on our next episode. Thank you all for watching. Have a lovely night. Hope you're as intense as we are. Bye.